Welcome back, everyone. This is the first ICC World Cricket League Championship match between Hong Kong and the Netherlands, and the first innings has been run. 330 for 7, the Netherlands. We're going to take a look back at some of the action from that innings just before the Hong Kong chase gets underway. I'm Max Abbott here, joined in the commentary box by Scott McKechnie. Scott, good afternoon to you, and well, if Hong Kong are going to get close or win this game, we're in for some good entertainment in this afternoon's session.
Yeah, good afternoon, Max. Afternoon, everybody. What a great day here at Mission Road, Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground in Kowloon. 330 on the board for the Netherlands after that first innings set. It looks a lot straight off the face, but we know this Mission Road ground, there's short boundaries straight. It's a quick outfield on this hot day here. It's well within Hong Kong's reach, so we're in for a great afternoon.
Yeah, just taking a look at that was the first wicket to fall. Azaz Khan picked up rip on there without scoring. Left one that just nipped back a fraction. Not many balls did move around much. It was a very good batting wicket, and had Hong Kong on their way. But Ben Cooper was in very good form again today, but that shot not indicative of the way he played. He again was in good form, coming off 100 in the Intercontinental Cup match. He went for 43 off 37 balls. Ehsan Khan was into the action again, getting rid of Wesley Baresi for 11. That helped Hong Kong pull it back to 112 for 3 at that stage. And but the big partnership was to come, and that was between Rolf van der Merwe and Stefan Myburgh. Myburgh played beautifully, but really would be disappointed to have got out to what was a long hop, but picked out Ehsan Khan, who celebrated very nicely at deep backward square. And at that stage, the Netherlands side were well in the ascendancy at 183 for 4 in 29 overs. And this was great. This was actually Peter Boren hitting down the ground but finding Jamie Atkinson. And at that point, the Netherlands were able to just shoot for quick runs, and we're not far away from the first. We'll just take a look at this one more wicket, which is Max O'Dowd, who just didn't quite get onto that one. hitting down the ground was caught well. As we're going to come back to live action here. Got Vivian Kingma opening the bowling for the Netherlands. And with a score of 330 to chase, it's going to be Jamie Atkinson to face. No, Chris Carter. He's out there. And he's started beautifully, hitting the ball on the ground. Apologies to Chris for that. And that's actually going to be 4. What a great start for Hong Kong.
Yeah, that'll ease some nerves. And you've got to say 2 men in form here, Max. We've got Carter on strike here. Chris Carter opening the batting with, it looks like Anshuman Rath at the other end, who've both had an excellent week in the longer form in the red ball game that happened here at this same ground earlier this week. That'll settle a few nerves, that first ball boundary. It's a good start for Chris, a great start for Hong Kong.
They're still behind on the comparative score because there were 5 wides on the first ball from the Hong Kong innings, so at least limiting the damage. Well, that could be a wide, so we are pretty much level. That ball did swing. Didn't see any balls really swing like that in the Hong Kong innings. Yeah, a bit of a change maybe in the top of the order. I had heard whispers that it was going to be Nazaket opening the batting today, but they've, despite the big score, elected to go in with Chris Carter and Anchi Rath at the top of the order. Anchi Rath has done some opening in one-day cricket, but has in more recent times come in at sort of number 4-5. But I quite like the look of him being up the top of the order.
Yeah, and it's great to have that flexibility, isn't it, Max? Where depending on the game situation, the run chase, the runs that they have on the board, you can maybe just shuffle with your batting lineup just to better suit the total that you're in chase of.
It's on the pads. Single taken.
Max, why do you think that'll be that change in the order today? Do you think they'll be maybe saving their...
Well, my mail could have been off the mark, Scott. Some my sources may have ill-informed me. But, yeah, I think the reason would have perhaps been just thinking that Carter and Anch might just be able to perhaps play a little more solidly in the opening overs, leave Nazaket back, hopefully lay a platform for the likes of Bubba Hyatt, Nazaket Khan, Jamie Atkinson, who's well padded up and maybe coming in at number 3. That's edged. It's just going to be a single.
Yeah, it's a good point. And we know as well that here at this Mission Road ground, with those short, straight boundaries in particular, it can be quite difficult to defend. I wonder if Hong Kong want to save some of their more explosive hitting for later in the innings. Just maybe set a bit of a foundation, lay a platform here for what will be a long chase of 331. Maybe save those hitters for the end, knowing that even if they do fall a little behind, they're still very much in the game with those short, straight boundaries.
Edged, it was a no ball and it's gone for 4, so that'll be 5 runs to the total. Handy start here for Hong Kong as they will also have the benefit of a free hit.
Yeah, it's turned into an excellent start here. Just a start Chris Carter would have been hoping for.
Not as convincing as you'd like, but just a little bit of a way swing here from Kingma, which is a reason that ball did take the edge.
Looks to be a little bit of shape, doesn't there, Max? And they'll be hoping for that early on, that movement in the air, because we've seen how good this Mission Road wicket is all week in the red ball and now the white ball stuff. It's been a real good batting wicket. They'll be hoping for some movement in the air, but a free hit here for Carter.
It's going to go the lap. And that's exactly what he does, and he plays it well, and it goes away to the boundary.
It's one of his options. Plays it brilliantly. Well executed there by Carter. What a start for him.
Well, that felt good being on the money, calling that. I reckon I've had about 10 goes at predicting free hits, and that was my first one, so I'm not going to claim to be a soothsayer. So this really is 14 here from the first over. Yeah, we'll just ease the tension. Does allow them to sort of settle for the next few overs. Another no ball. We did see the Netherlands bowl a number of no balls in the 4-day game. Now, of course, in 4-day cricket, that's not as costly without the free hit. But in this format of the game, you don't want to be bowling too many.
No, you don't. Where's he going, Max? Let's go 2 from 2.
He's got to mix it up, does he, or does he just go the same one? And the pressure's on now for me to back it up. I'm think he might go it again.
Do you know what? I think he might stand his ground here. I think he might go straight. Slow ball, perhaps, in response.
Oh, it's wide.
Oh, he's gone wide of the crease. Be another free hit, Max. What a start for Hong Kong.
Yeah, 16. Well, it's actually 18. I've ripped them off a couple.
These early exchanges will very much set the tone for the course of play this afternoon, won't they? Netherlands won't be happy with this start. 18 off the first over and a free hit here to finish.
Goes for it. He did back it up. I think there was an inside edge on the pad there, so I reckon Carter might keep that run. Nope. Ian Thompson says just off the pad. That is the end of the over at last. And the score is 19. Hong Kong would have been happy to have reached that point in a few overs' time, but does take the pressure off. And I think when you're a chasing side, as much as you know you can leave runs to get in the last 10 overs, you've got wickets in hand. It's always nice to be up and around that run rate required, especially when chasing a score of 330.
Yeah, it is. And I think the big thing here that I'd imagine Simon Cook, the head coach, will be looking to instill on the players is just not to panic. It looks straight off the face a big total, and on a lot of grounds around the world, bigger grounds than this, it would be a lot of runs to get. But in these conditions, with the small boundaries that we have here at Mission Road and the explosive nature of the Hong Kong top six, I'd say 330 is probably 20 or 30 more than they would have liked to leak, but certainly not out of reach.
And one thing, it's hard to gauge the scores because the wicket here is well above average in terms of quality that you do get. Generally plays low, slow and turning is the way that this Ting Kwong Road surface is played traditionally, but the ground's had a break of about 6 weeks and it's got a lot more life in it. Something that this big, tall, fast bowler Paul van Meekeren will be looking to exploit. He bowled really well in patches in the 4-day game, but he was a big candidate for a no ball, so I hope he's sorted the run-up out. He bowled a number of no balls in the 4-day fixture, so hopefully he spent a bit of time ironing out his run-up since he's arrived in Hong Kong. But at times bowled with good pace, and obviously the height that he is can generate some good bounce. Now going to be Anchman Rath on strike. Oh, that's that bit of extra carry that we're talking about. Wesley Baresi, the only man to have heard a noise there.
You called it, Max, didn't you, with that extra bounce?
He's very upset at the lack of support. Oh, playing a miss. A little bit loose from Manchi Rath, just playing outside the off stump. Might just take a look at that previous ball. It's obviously tough without hot spot and all sorts of other technology to detect little fine edges, but we will try and bring up perhaps after this delivery, see if we can pick up any deviation. Oh, played a miss again. That's 3 in a row. Paul, an impressive start here from Paul van Meekeren. This is that first one. No, in fact, this is the ball before, where Chris Carter played to the onside for a single. Things don't always run smoothly in live television, Scott.
Very true, Max. Very true. Good start here, though. After that loose first over, they've really pulled it back here in this second one.
Oh, and again, I think that's a good length to bowl. And one thing I would say that maybe Hong Kong didn't do enough of is bowl back of a length. They bowled very full, and as a result went for a number of boundaries.
Yeah, showing they've learned from what the Hong Kong attack did in that first innings, and Got off to a bit of a fly, the Netherlands, didn't they? They lost an early wicket and then set a real good foundation to push towards that 330 score that they eventually posted. He's showing great pace here, Paul van Meeker, and great carry as well, which isn't always so closely associated with this Mission Road surface.
That's full and driven, and a slight misfield, which allows Antirat to pick up a single. So 2 runs from that over, so a tighter one from the Netherlands' point of view, but still 21 for no loss after 2 overs. What do you think of our new scoring system here, Scott? It's very fancy, isn't it? We've got the scores down the bottom bar there, which is we've done a bit of work trying to update our graphics, and we certainly just trying to make those improvements every time in our coverage, trying to bring these Hong Kong matches not just to fans in the region but also around the world, and hopefully there's a few waking up in the early hours of the morning in the Netherlands, or perhaps after a late night out in Amsterdam, tuning into the live coverage here today.
Late nights in Amsterdam, not sure they're a thing, are they, Max? Not sure they happen. But yeah, it looks much better visually.
We could show off actually one of the new countdown feature. It was a change straight away here. Peter Boren bowling his gentle medium pace. Yeah, we've got our equation now actually, which I'll just update the ball here. This is very exciting. I believe if I hit this button,
oh, no early success.
Well, we're just still working on it.
Has
that edge down to third man
You're
for
doing
one.
well to multitask here as well, Max, I must say.
It's all part of the fun here. There we go. Ooh, we're going to have to try and address the positioning of that. I'm sure by the time we get down to 10 runs needed off 10 balls later on, when there's perhaps less numbers, that will be just fitting in beautifully in that right corner. We can take that one off now, Norman. Norman, our guru in the production team. It's a full ball there as that's moved out into the onside. They're going to look for 2, but I think wisely elect not to take it. So interesting to hook your opening bowler after 1 over. I guess didn't want to risk more no balls.
Yeah, it's certainly a statement, isn't it? But it looks a good one. Peter Boren started well here.
That's played in the offside.
Obviously, through these early exchanges, you're limited in the number of fielders you can drop back to the boundary. Only a couple through these first 10 overs. So if someone's missing, lacking a little bit in rhythm, you can only do so much to defend. It might be a good call.
It's defended, I suppose, Boren just taking the pace off the ball here, making the Hong Kong batsmen have to generate it themselves.
We spoke about the swing early in the innings as well, and he seems like one of those bowlers who maybe not the quickest, maybe he's not going to get the most carry of this Netherlands attack, but he looks like one of the guys who's most likely to move that ball around in the air, probably into Anshman, the left-handed batter here.
Edge
Boy, that's going to cross him.
And 4 runs.
And 4 runs. Yeah, it was a bit of a tempter, wasn't it, Max? He floated it out wide. It wasn't quite a half volley, but clearly within Anshi's hitting zone, but he's not quite nailed that one. I wonder if we can get a replay of that, Max.
Yeah, we'd like to get a replay of that if we can bring it up. All sorts going on here in the back of the production box. Always fun and games. But I've just seen it come up on the stream, which is slightly delayed, and definite chance way to the left. We did see Jamie Atkinson put down Ben Cooper earlier on in a at first slip as well. There it is. Did go quickly, and it was to his. It would have been a very good catch.
You need that little bit of luck early, don't you, Max? Especially in a big chase like this. You've got to go out and be positive. You've got to play your shots, and yeah, I've got to hope that you get that little bit of luck early.
So the score here, 27 for none after 3 overs. So the rate, just under 6.5 an over required. That's wide and short and put away by Chris Carter. Over towards where the kids are sitting on that far side of the ground. And keeps the momentum going for Hong Kong early in this innings.
Yeah, greeted with a fair roar from the Hong Kong boys here on the sideline as well. That'll be a nice little pressure release, a fairly tight over from Boren with that drop catch at the end of the over. Paul Van Meekeren's first over went for just 2, so to get an early boundary in this 4th over of the innings, it'll be a nice little pressure release for Chris Carter.
And it's a tighter line from Van Meekeren.
Just looking at the field here, Max, obviously you can have 2 back in that first 10 overs. They've got a 3rd man here, out in the direction that last boundary went. They've also got a deep backward square. I wonder if they're going to test it with some short stuff here, Max. Van Meekeren has shown that he can get some good carry on this Mission Road surface. He's got some good pace behind him as well. I wonder if they'll have a look at the short ball here at some stage soon.
Oh, that's close. Nipped in, but the bowler didn't really appeal.
I wonder if there's some bat on that, Max. I think
Maybe,
the bowlers
yeah.
generally have a pretty good visual as to whether there's bat involved. They were going up big behind the stumps, weren't they?
Yeah, maybe saying hi. Just one of those ones that live, I thought might have been close. Let's have a look. Oh, my word.
Must have been bat. It must have been some bat. So I don't think it's going over or under.
I mean, it
Pretty
nipped back.
adjacent.
I don't think it was going down leg. Oh, good short ball.
There it is. It's good pace that. We're side onto the wicket here at Mission Road, and got a great visual as to the speed on that ball. We'd love to have a speed gun. We don't, sadly, on these visuals. Maybe that's to come in the next year or two, but
Like we just add a layer every time to our coverage, and I think that's on the agenda probably maybe in 2019, the speed gun. Short ball, he's had a go. This is good bowling. And good batting as well from Hong Kong, looking to be positive. Carter swayed out the first short ball well. He's had a go at that one. Short, fine leg in place, so he only needed to get enough on it. And he could have easily earned himself a boundary. Great action, just good watching tall, fast bowlers on a wicket with a bit of pace and bounce. Pitch that one up, it's down the leg side, but the short, fine leg will mean no cheap single for Hong Kong. And that takes us to the end of the over. And we'll catch up in a moment on that bottom left. There it goes. 31 without loss, still a good start here for Hong Kong.
yeah, it is, and very impressive from Van Meekeren. He looks a fantastic unit. He's got a great action, a strong action. He's a tall, powerful boy. Like a young Max Abbott, almost, would you say?
You might even have me for height. Big Paul.
How about pace, Max?
I think
pace?
you might have me in that department as well. I just swung the ball away, Scott, in the right conditions. Bit of overcast. I mightn't have been much good today. Into an England Duke ball in an overcast day. Solid from Anchi Rath there. Good to see the South China Morning Post, one of the major newspapers here in Hong Kong, right up the main part of the sports section. They're showing this live streaming coverage. We've got a nice shot there of Anchi Rath getting ready to take strike here to Peter Boren. So great supporters of cricket there at the South China Morning Post. Plenty of support as well for the Hong Kong T20 Blitz, which I must bring up with you, Scott, as you are intrinsically involved in that tournament with one of the franchise, the Galaxy Gladiators Lantau.
Yeah, that's right, Max. Watching very closely here because Anshuman Rath is one of our retained players from last year's event. He's been in fantastic form. Let's hope he can carry that through these one-day fixtures and hopefully into the Blitz on the 8th of March.
Yeah, it's going to be a great tournament, and you've got some pretty big names in your overseas category. Well, that could go all the way.
Great
That has
batting
been
from
well
Anchi.
timed. Handy 4 there for Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's taken amazing shape, hasn't it, Max? If you look at the growth of the event almost from year 1 to year 2. Last year, very fortunate in that we put Michael Clark across for the event, didn't we? He played for the Kowloon Cantons last year, and it showed that these big names, these big cricketers were taking a real interest in all things cricket Hong Kong. He didn't just play in the event, but he spoke to the squads, men's and women's, and had a huge influence on the game here through his short time. It's well balled by Boren. Into the hip of Anshuman Rath, but the way it's taken shape this year and the sort of players this competition has attracted is it's fantastic for the game. It's great for all things cricket Hong Kong, and it's a good representation of the work going in behind the scenes. It's going to be a fantastic event, and the Galaxy Gladiators have been pretty lucky to nail down 5 real good ones.
Yeah, and also great to see, just got a message from a short ball, and he's got the protection out in the boundary. Just a message from someone down in Australia saying that foxsports.com.au running this live stream as well down in Australia of Hong Kong, Netherlands. Thanks for their support. Australia are very strong supporters. And of course, Fox Sports will also have a presence at the Hong Kong T20 Blitz. Got their boundary reporter, Fox Sports News presenter Catherine Lochnan, coming up to do sidelines. So it's going to be great to have a Fox Sports presence here for the Blitz from March 8 to 12. And they're always got some keen responders to the media releases from Fox Sports. Always got a bit of, not sure why that is, but they always have a little bit of interest in what's happening here in this part of the world for cricket, which is good to see. See, there's more and more tuning in to this match as the day goes on. We want to try and break our record over the course of this series for most views. I agree, Amit. They should all be shown live on TV, but we're doing the best we can here with the streaming. Full ball. Maybe Angie just missed out there, slightly late on it. Not able to thread it through that gap from just in front of point. Many thanks, Amit. Thanks for tuning in. Do make your comments, of course, above board comments on our YouTube channel where this stream is. We do read them, and we will answer your questions if you've got them. Keeps us entertained reading some of the banter, as long as it's friendly, of course. Scott?
Very true. I wonder if you just missed a front foot no ball here, Max.
I might have. I was just talking to myself for a while, and I was completely self-indulging for about a couple of minutes there.
Just flicked on the YouTube live stream on my computer here. It's a little bit behind the live feed, but I saw a blue arm swinging around in the air as if this next ball will be a free hit. The way that...
You are right. I've just had a look at the scorecard, and indeed, no balls bowled. We can see the treasurer of Cricket Hong Kong there, Justin Pearce. Anshuman Rath's father sitting in front of him. And this is a great sight here. The kids, during the lunch break, all out doing a clinic. Had about probably 80 or 90 kids. I think we've got a lot more coming on Saturday. But really good and a great initiative from the Hong Kong Cricket Department and their development team to make sure we get kids along, bust them in from various schools. And for many of the kids that are here today, the first time they've ever seen cricket live. And the first time they've had a chance to be involved in a clinic on the outfield. Looked like there was some very solid cricket fans as well mixed in. We've got the kids, the young and the old in. There's always a broad spectrum of cricket fans here in the region. Anshuman Rath goes for the lap. That is an unusual... no ball. I was about to say that is... possibly the most unusual thing I've ever seen the level-headed Anshuman Rath do, but the little break in play has led to my memory fading, and that was, of course, a free hit. So could have almost run a cheeky single with the bowled.
Yeah, you can understand why he's done it. That fine leg is up in the ring, isn't he? They've got a deep backward square. We're anticipating a bit more short stuff here from Van Meekeren, he's certainly got the pace.
I must say, as a man that doesn't play the lap shot at all, and therefore assuming that it's incredibly difficult, just always think if you know you can't be caught, at least hit it up in the air or something, try and go for a big drive or something like that. If you get caught, at least you can run one or two while the ball's in the air. I feel like with that lap, you're 4 or nothing. That's just my armchair perspective on the matter anyway. It's a good carry. Keeper taking that face height, and it was climbing as it got to him. Looks like we've got a few more kids coming in here. I don't know if they've ducked off and coming back, but great to see more kids coming into the ground. It should be a great afternoon here. Hong Kong set up for a decent chase here, being 37 without loss. Almost at the end of the 6th over. That's just guided that backward point. Score is 37 for none. Not quite at the end of the 6th over just yet with that no ball.
It's a good early exchange here, Max, isn't it? The Hong Kong boys, touchwood, haven't actually looked in too much trouble. They've had the answers for all the questions thrown their way. They've managed to get some scoring options away. It's probably as good as it's going to be for the Netherlands attack with the wicket hard and the ball new.
This time Anchirath picks the gap. The outfield is very fast and the boundaries are not too big. That's 4 runs. And that's a very handy boundary after what was a good over to that point from Van Meekeren. Takes the score to 41 for no loss after 6 overs.
Yeah, great shot from Anchi. I think a real good reflection on the quality of this Mission Road wicket. It wasn't a bad ball, just slightly back of a length and just a fraction of width. Just allowed Anchi to get his hands through the ball. He picked the gap and it raced away to the boundary. That's a sign of a good surface this early in the innings. Great start for Hong Kong. They move on to 41 without loss after 6 overs.
So another 290 runs to go.
Looks like Boren's short spell has come to an end here, Max.
Yeah, well, I think he bowled 2 overs for 11, but I think it was just to try and hold for a moment. It looks like they're going for some spin here. Looks like Rip on the left arm spinner. Made a duck with the bat, so he'll be looking to make amends. Chris Carter on strike. Certainly a fairly early introduction of spin here, just the 7th over. I don't think Hong Kong will mind getting a look at the Dutch spinners while the ball's a bit harder and the field is up.
Yeah, I do agree. He's a good bowler, though, Rippon. He's an interesting bowler, Michael Rippon. He bowls a lot of googlies, Max. It's almost his stock ball, I think, from memory, although let's have a look here and see how these early exchanges go.
Driven straight to the fielder. So you're familiar?
Yeah, played a little bit against Rippon back in my days, back in the UK, moving around the county circuit. Very talented cricketer.
That was the googly, so your mail's on the mark there.
It's interesting to see towards the back end of the Hong Kong innings, it did certainly start to take a little bit more spin as the innings went on, whether that's the ball getting softer or whether that's the pitch just starting to break up.
Carter goes for that spun back. That could be very close. It's given. Rip-on strikes. That wasn't the googly. That one spun back. Carter was looking for the reverse sweep option. It straightened and looked like it hit him in line, and probably a very good decision from umpire Ian Thompson.
Yeah, that is a shame for Hong Kong after laying such a good foundation. It's definitely one of his options. Let's have a look again.
Yeah, straight into the, only height could have been the only thing that potentially saved him, and I think a good decision from Ian Thompson there.
He's got a better perspective than us here at the deep cover boundary. It's a shame. It's one of his options. As I say, he does sweep both sides of the wicket. Most keepers do in this day and age. We've seen the lap and how effective he's been with that already. So be a bit disappointed there. Just missed out on the execution, but a great breakthrough for the Netherlands. They needed that after a bit of a loose start through those early exchanges.
So Jamie Atkinson is coming out at number 3. Bubba Haidt has occupied that position pretty much exclusively in all formats of the game of late, but the addition of Atkinson to the side has just given a little bit of extra depth, perhaps, the Hong Kong order. So he comes to the middle. I just trying to look over. Looks like Nazakat Khan not with the full set of pads on yet. So Bubba does. So I think Bubba will be in next. Chris Carter gone for 19 off 18 deliveries. Hit 4 boundaries. Not able to kick on today on backup. That good form he showed in the Intercontinental Cup. Now Jamie Atkinson, who didn't play in those games, so perhaps hasn't had quite the volume of cricket. That's outside the line. Ball spinning back. Jamie Atkinson, a young veteran of this Hong Kong side. He's been around forever. Full toss and swept away out to the deep man at backward square. I imagine you've played a lot against Jamie in domestic cricket, Scott.
Yeah, I have. A fantastic player, a destructive player, a consistent player. I know that Hong Kong will be really hopefully can put on a performance here today. He's ruined a lot of weekends for me, Max. Playing against, I must say. A lot of weekends.
Driven. And into the gap too. Very nice shot from Anchi Rath. Wow, that's gone all the way. Just kept going and going. I think Ben Cooper's still a little sore from his 173, which lasted over a day and a bit. So a handy boundary for Hong Kong, just to relieve the pressure after the loss of that wicket. Takes Anchi Rath on to 20, and it takes the score on to 46 for 1 after 7 overs.
Yeah, an interesting over that, wasn't it, Max? All happening, wickets and runs. Some good questions coming through the YouTube live feed here. Vikas, this game is happening at the Ting Kwong Road Recreation Ground in Kowloon, more commonly known as Mission Road in these parts. It's really coming together, isn't it, Max, this venue?
Yeah, well, each time Hong Kong are hosting cricket here, we do, I think, make improvements and get used to holding cricket here. We have to start from scratch each time, build up scaffolding for the streaming, the marquees for people to sit in. There'll be a lot more in here on Saturday. Short ball, well handled there by Jamie Atkinson. Don't recall seeing any short balls in the Netherlands innings from the. Don't have anyone as tall as Paul van Meekeren, but.
Tried to plan. It's worked well so far, Max. Haven't quite been able to get onto that short ball. Chris Carter got a cut shot away early for 4, but other than that, it's been effective thus far.
Is that edge? No. That ball climbing. As much as that's encouraging for the Netherlands, I think it's also encouraging for Hong Kong, because that sort of carry, things like edges are going to fly away to the boundary. The ball's coming onto the bat.
Yeah, it's what they'll want if they get through.
What's Jamie Atkinson's main areas? Scott, what does he like to do? Is he front foot, back foot?
He's good on the front dog, Max. Pushing him back again there. Yeah, there's a bit of a red zone there with Jamie, I call it. There's a red zone just in front of that front pad. And if you drop it in a red zone, you generally don't see it again here in Hong Kong. Those $600 balls disappear quick off Jamie Atkinson's bat. Back over your head straight, but I don't think he's going to get much of that from Van Meekeren. He looks like he's trying to push him back deep in the crease. Might try and catch him off guard with a full one shortly, attacking those pads and those stumps. But very impressed so far with Van Meekeren. He's got good pace. He's landing it in great areas. Hong Kong under a little bit of pressure here.
Very sweetly struck there from Atkinson, but straight to the fielder. Two to come in the over. Can the Netherlands keep this pressure going? They've bowled a few dot balls. Runs have dried up since that first one went for 19. So since then, what have we had? 27 runs in the next 6. So things have cooled off a little, and a lot more dot balls. Atkinson, that was that full ball. He really went hard at it, skewed it down to fine leg for a single.
Yeah, it'll be a good challenge, this, Max. I think typically with the wickets that these guys play on here in Hong Kong, certainly through their domestic cricket, they don't tend to play like this, don't tend to have this sort of carry, don't tend to have this sort of pace. Sometimes a little bit closer to what you'd expect in a subcontinent wicket. A little bit slower, lower, taking a lot of spin, so a real good challenge for them here. Great shot.
Stumped and driven beautifully into the gap. Couple to Anchi Rath, who looks to be settling into his innings here.
End of the 8th over here, Max. 49 for 1. Who'll be the happier of the two teams here? I'd suggest that Hong Kong have laid a pretty good foundation. Just about 50 on the board already. They have lost that one wicket. Who's on top here?
Well, I think the Netherlands, with runs on the board in 330, it's not until Hong Kong really start getting into the 200s with wickets in hand, the Netherlands are going to feel particularly worried. The beauty about cricket in Hong Kong is, I suppose, even if you lose a couple of wickets, it's the sort of dimensions here mean one or two batsmen get hot and the game can change very, very quickly. There's that wrong un from Rippon. Looks like he's going to be tricky to play here if the batsmen aren't reading him. Throwing in a lot of googlies.
Yeah, and he didn't play the 4-day game earlier in the week, so this, for a lot of them, will be the first they've seen of Rippon.
Oh, that's close. Very close. Oh, that was close.
Good to see that one again, Max. It looked very straight again, didn't it?
I think, the bat and pad were very close together, so perhaps for umpire Ian Thompson, just enough doubt there to say you couldn't be sure. But Jamie Atkinson will want to be careful here about just planting the front foot forward. That's very close. And we missed a boundary there because meanwhile the ball's gone to the boundary.
Yeah, we'll have to talk you through that one. They missed it. I wonder if we can get a replay of that as well, Max. But a great shot from Jamie. Rippon just erring on the short side for the first time today. Jamie very quick to rock back. Punched that through the offside to the rope. Ease some of his early nerves.
Oh, he's gone. There should be a wide. Perhaps flicked off the pad, but Jamie Atkinson's gone. Wouldn't matter if it was a wide in any event, but a big wicket there for the Netherlands.
Yeah, big wicket indeed. Jamie looking to show some intent and put the pressure back on the Netherlands attack. He used his feet to good effect there. He got a long way down, but...
Just wonder if he didn't pick and thought it was the googly. Because he seemed to be quite surprised when the ball turned.
Yeah.
Not a great shot, unfortunately, for Jamie Atkinson there. Just misreading that. And Rippon here really causing some damage.
Yeah, and looking at the position he got into on the replay there, Max, I think you're right. I think you can only suggest that Jamie maybe hasn't picked that leg spin. He was expecting that wrong, and he was a good position to deal with that. But when it went the other way, he was exposed. A big wicket there.
These boys are doing it in style. Sitting in the sunshine, brought their bottle of vino. Now Bubba Hyatt, 173 in the I Cup match. He comes to the wicket now. And again, A lot of pressure on him. With Anchi-Rath. Hong Kong are going to have to figure out a way to pick off Ripon here. Not a great call there going for the single when it certainly wasn't there. Going to have to find a way to put Ripon under a little bit of pressure here because he's settled into a very nice rhythm here early in his spell.
Great batting from Baba. He's away. Leans on that one into the offside. Great contact. That's raced to the boundary for 4. Again, that ease some of his early nerves. Another interesting over, Max.
Yep, and that's actually the end of the over as well. 57 for 2 after 9 overs. So the run rate, very good for Hong Kong. The wicket column perhaps a little high for this stage. We'll just take a look in a moment. Bubba Hyatt there, that is classic Bubba Hyatt, leaning on that ball, getting on the front foot, smashing it through the covers. It's been very solid, Van Meekeren. It's 4 overs for 14 so far.
From a Hong Kong perspective, I don't think this is a bad start, Max. Those 2 wickets, as you say, not ideal. Certainly that most recent one of Jamie is a big wicket for the Netherlands. But I think they're going at a good rate, aren't they? 6 and over, and I think if they just stay in touch with that rate, and they keep those wickets in hand through this next 20 or 30 overs, they'll lay himself a fantastic foundation to go big at these short boundaries in that final 10.
Tucked around the corner nicely from Anchi-Rath, pick up a single. He's now on 23. He's done that fairly easily. He's got a very good record in one-day international cricket. Anchi-Rath, in fact, both these batsmen averaging over 40 in one-day cricket. I should correct, not one-day international cricket. This is a one-day fixture, of course. The Netherlands not currently having ODI status. Solid from Bubba Hyatt there.
One thing I'd say about Baba, Max, is he's certainly a man for the occasion, isn't he? There's been some big games here of late that Hong Kong have really needed a result, or they've needed a performance, they've needed a man to stand up, and so often Baba has been that man, leading from the front as captain, physically in better condition than ever before. This is certainly the big occasion. Just persevering with that short stuff here as well. He's got him there, Max. Not too keen to comment on exactly where.
Yeah, he's on his haunches here, Bubba Hyatt. Just have another look at what happened there. I think he got struck where it hurts a little. Poor old Bubba. A bit of discomfort there. Let's take another look. Oh, his insides edged it down in the lower part of his stomach.
I think just one replay is plenty enough there, Max.
So he's told the physio to get off, so no major problems.
Persevering with the short stuff here again. He's lost his line on that one. It's a wide ball. Seems a good plan though, this, Max, doesn't it? They seem to have picked up the conditions pretty well. They've played a lot of cricket here this week with the 4-day game and this 1-day fixture here today, and they've got a good handle on the conditions. This short stuff seems effective at this point in time.
Delivery. Meekern looking to hit the pads there.
Looks like it's kept a little bit low, that one as well, doesn't it, Max? Maybe just a little bit up and down as this wicket starts to break up. It's been a long week of cricket here at Mission Road, as we discussed already. Won't be the sort of signs that the Hong Kong batters waiting to come in are hoping to see.
Well bowled again. He's been impressive, Van Meekeren. So, almost through. In fact, we are now through the first 10 overs. Score is 59 for 2. I believe, memory serves me correct, the Netherlands were 61 for 1 after their first 10 overs. So, even enough start. Although introduction of Rippon, although surprisingly he's found a way to go for 13 off his 2 overs. It feels like it's a little unexpected. It seems like he's been quite dominant and the batsmen have been quite uncertain, but Hong Kong have managed to slip a couple of boundaries away just to at least ensure facing too many dot balls.
Yeah, and a really interesting phase of the game here to come, Max. Obviously we got through that first power play, so Netherlands can afford to just send a couple more fielders back to the rope, although for now in the position they're in, it looks like they kept the field up quite tight.
It's cut away from Anchuath, but there is a sweeper. See all the kids in the background there. A lot of them are in the cricket net. It's here at the ground.
Good to see just how effective Hong Kong can be rotating the strike here through these middle overs with those fielders up in the first 10. The boundaries carry good value and they do naturally come. They have to be a little bit more selective with their options here. A few more gaps to rotate their strike, but they've got to go 6 and over, so they can't afford too many dot balls through this middle phase. Is that wrong? And again, see a lot of them from Rippon. He's landed them well today. You can see why he's so effective, can't you, in white ball cricket, Max? Turning the ball both ways, landing them in a good area. That was a good pace as well, especially on a wicket like this, which is just taking enough spin.
Getting sledged by your groundsman.
Getting sledged by me groundsman. Sorry, Joel. We'll slow it down a little bit.
It's just guided out to long on, a full toss from Rippon. I suppose with a wrist spinner, you're always going to get the occasional loose delivery. It's been pretty good so far, though.
Just as we enter this middle phase, Max, we've got a lot of watchers from Nepal at this point in time.
Yeah,
they're asking for a mention. I think they deserve plenty more than that.
Well bowled, big appeal. Ian Thompson unmoved. And they're not very happy, Netherlands. Need to take another look at that. And Peter Byron really unhappy there. You'll have to be careful here. Take another look. It's hard to see from there.
They all went up in sync though, didn't they, Max? It wasn't just one or two, it was the whole band of orange.
So Anchuath skews that one out to deep backward square for a single.
Tough to say from here whether there was any.
A lot of things close together there. Hard to categorically say that he hit it. The Netherlands was certainly very confident.
thing I would say with that, Max, is when you're sending those hands and that bat away from your body, if there is any sort of noise, there's only so much it could be.
Yep.
And to be a long way away from the pads there, didn't look to make contact with any part of the ground. So if there was a noise, which we couldn't hear from here, it's difficult to work out exactly what else it could be.
Yeah, a lot riding on these games, so I suppose the disappointment from players, whilst it's probably not ideal, you can somewhat understand. There's a lot at stake in these two matches. Peter Boren has swapped ends. Both picking a single off the first ball of the over there.
Excellent fielding there in the covers, and it's one thing that I think the Netherlands can really come out top here. I think that the Hong Kong fielding in the ring, and I know Simon Cook was on earlier talking about the same thing, it was a little bit patchy.
Down the leg side, that'll be a wide.
A few missed opportunities for Hong Kong inside that inner ring, whether it's to save singles, to build pressure, or to even take wickets. Something that Hong Kong will be pretty disappointed with this afternoon. Obviously batting is the job to do now, but I feel if the Netherlands can really dominate in that inner ring and create dot balls and build pressure, it's a good way for them to get on top here.
Peter Boren, one of those bowlers that in short form cricket, the pace he bowls can be tricky to get away. Almost a bit of fear enters in terms of not getting out to him. He's been a real good servant for Dutch cricket for many years. Just bowling a real stump to stump line here.
Exactly what we're talking about there in the inner ring as well. Hunting every run, hunting every ball, just building pressure and creating dots where they otherwise maybe wouldn't be. He's a good performer here though, isn't he, Boren? Love to see his pitch map. He doesn't miss that length very often.
Just bowling back of a length, which is something that we didn't see as often from the Hong Kong bowlers.
Being said, when some of these Hong Kong batters get themselves in particular Baba and Mizakat Khan and those guys to come, you can bowl anywhere and it can still disappear a long way over your head.
Leg side, and he's chipped that. But in a safe region, there may be two here. Sets off. We'll get back comfortably. That is the end of the over. Score 67 for 2, and we'll have a change in the commentary position here. Hopefully my replacement will come soon, but for now, Scotty, you can have a spell. Entering the booth for the second time today is Ryan Campbell. Good afternoon to you, Ryan.
G'day, Max. Not a bad time to join the commentary. An exceptionally good contest going on. Hong Kong are batting very well. A couple of wickets, of course, but look, they've got that rate, the run rate up to where they need it to be.
And, well pushed into the offside by Bubba. Looks quite composed. Never looks too flustered though, Bubba, does he?
And sometimes I don't think he's got a heartbeat, does he? Very calm.
Ripon's done well here. A little bit of deception.
Yeah, he looks a good bowler. Obviously a left-arm Chinaman. It's something that Hong Kong probably haven't seen a lot of. Looked like he perhaps had the wicket of Anshuman Rath in the previous over.
Could you hear a noise outside?
Oh, I think they took the splinter out of it just after the end of the over.
We
But
had a look at the replay. It was on these replays without hot spots and what have you. It's pretty tough to tell. So there were a few things close together, but it was a very confident appeal.
look, I think it's you just go by the reaction of the wicket keeper and the bowler. Immediately it was an instant appeal. It looked like it was thing, and then I feel the shot after the next ball, Anshuman was a little guilty almost, with a bit of a wild slog. But look, looks like he's a very good bowler, Ripon. He's obviously at the Chinaman spinning the ball. Well, he does, and that's. I think there was an LBW shout that perhaps was one of those as well, which perhaps the umpire didn't quite know what he was bowling. But
we had a good view of that. That actually did. And Anchi gets one in the slot and puts it away down to the boundary. Just got into the arc there, Ripon, and needed boundary there for Hong Kong, who just need to keep things ticking over. But yeah, on that delivery, describe it was the bat and pad were close together. It may well have been out. One, but certainly a review might have been called for if it existed.
Well, it's interesting, when you're chasing 330 and it's 6 and 0. Well, it's more than 6 and over to start with, but it appears that they had a great start. The first over went for 20 odd, and then since then there has been almost a boundary and over, which is has really helped Hong Kong maintain that rate. And chasing big scores, obviously wickets in hand and you can feel like you can chase down anything, but if you're going along at 6 and over, there's no real need to put the foot on the accelerator. It's just about batting and a partnership, and plenty of singles. This is square of the wicket's quite a big ground, so it's very hard to defend. So they just need composure and keep batting as a partnership.
He's gone pretty hard at that.
Well, there you go. There's that boundary in the first ball of the over, and again now the bowler Peter Boren is under pressure. And he has to find a way to get some dot balls and stop the boundaries, because, like I say, there appears to be a boundary and over. It's almost leaking of runs, which has kept Hong Kong way up with the run rate. On a beautiful surface as well. And
this has got to be almost the best wickets we've ever seen here at Ting Kwong Road Recreation Ground.
Well, it looks pretty solid, doesn't it? It hasn't played too many tricks, that's for sure. And again, wide, big boundaries, square of the wicket, very hard to defend too. You just got to keep your composure really as a batting side. They've got a good start with Anshuman Rath. He needs to go on and make a big score. He's had some luck. He got dropped early on. So someone needs to make a big score.
I suppose using the Netherlands innings as a bit of a guide, their second wicket fell at 92, and that was after 15.2 overs. So the comparative scores are very even at this point.
And I actually felt that the Netherlands didn't actually explode for those last 6 or 7 overs. When they lost Van der Merwe, they actually didn't score as many boundaries as what you would have thought in those last 5 or 6 overs. So, there's going to be periods in this game that, as a batting team, the bowlers might get away with a couple of really tight overs. Then you just got to hang on. And as for the bowling team, they need to find some dots, put pressure on, scoreboard pressure, and try and force Hong Kong into making a mistake.
Big bye there. Well, also, I suppose, to add to your point there, as we get the end of the over, 14 overs gone, 83, as I try and work this score to give me something. 14 overs gone, 83 for 2. I mean, in the 38th over, they were 243, so they've sort of scored 87 runs in the last 13 overs or so, which, given they had 5-6 wickets in hand, was quite a good result for Hong Kong to only concede 330. It looked like 350 was on the cards.
Yeah, for sure. I thought Essen Nawaz bowled very well. He bowled some good overs towards the end, and everyone did a good job. It's funny when the score is racing along. It's the little wins almost. If you have a good over that only goes for 6, or an over that goes for 5, it all counts later on in the back end of games. You know, it's just those, you hate to finish a game and go, oh, mate, we just needed to make 10 more here or 4 or 5 more here, or if we only had done that. And I think, you know, as a coach, there's so many games you just sit there and go, gee, if only we had 10 more, or we only had 20 more.
This is a big 10 overs here starting from Rolf van der Meer. Yeah, and there's a big difference between chasing 330 and 350, 360.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I say, it's all at the back end of these games. So van der Meer, when we saw the spinners from Hong Kong, they didn't get a lot of spin. Every now and again, it was almost like out of the blue, one ball might spin, but we haven't seen a lot of turn. And to be fair to him, he's not actually a big turner of the ball. So, look, he's going to have to change his pace and make sure he keeps it nice and tight and try and almost force that big shot, because you know a guy like Bubba Hyatt is coming very hard at him at some point. He's going to try and hit him into the softball grounds, that's for sure.
Short down the leg side, and she elects to leave. Take the wide.
Take the wide. Lived and fight another day.
He's a flatter style bowler though, van der Meer, isn't he? Rather than a...
Yeah, he doesn't really bowl too slow, does he? Although, you know, as I say that, he actually gave that a bit more flight. But, you know, he's about containment. He knows his job. I thought, you know, in that his pitch map, I would have thought in that 4-day game, that first innings was just, he bowled a lot of overs for, you know, 2 or 3 and over. So
less than that, I think, at 1.8 or 1.9. No, I think.
Like I say, and everyone in the team has to know your role. You know, some blokes aren't there to take wickets. Some blokes are just there to, you know, hold up an end. Hopefully the wickets come from the other end. So it's all about whatever you have to do to help your team.
Gee, Bubba was very casual, confident that the ball was going to get past that straightish mid-wicket fieldsman. Thankfully for him it did. Would have saved him a lot of embarrassment. It's good batting from Hong Kong, and not something we've probably associated them a lot, knocking the ball around like that for singles.
Must have replaced the batting coach. Obviously didn't listen to him for 4 years. But yeah, you would hope that, you know, all these guys are a lot more experienced now. They played a lot more international cricket, and you're hoping that they are learning.
It was a big bonus to sort of get 20 runs from the first over with a couple of no balls. That just helped take the pressure off that run rate in the early overs here for Hong Kong.
Well, it just makes life a lot easier, and it's almost like
the 14 overs since they made 68. If they had 14 overs for 68, the pressure would very much be on.
For sure. You know, you're almost like you've rubbed out. You're not chasing 330 anymore. Yeah. It's like you're starting afresh at 310. Yeah. So, you know, obviously as a fielding team, you know, you want your opening bowlers to set the tone. Whoever bowls that first over, that first ball, you need to set the tone. You know, that's either with the bat or with the ball. And unfortunately, the Dutch lad, Kingma, didn't get it right. Bowled some no balls, bowled some very loose deliveries, wides. And all of a sudden it gave Hong Kong a lot of impetus to start their power play.
Yeah, well, Van Meekeren did well. He bowled a lot of no balls in the 4-day game, but perhaps with the penalty in place of a free hit, that forced him behind the front line, and he didn't. I think he maybe went over once in his spell. It's probably once too many.
I hope the new coach has something to say to him about his no balls. Then.
But I'm just trying to look through who else are the overs going to come from here. Have we seen all the Dutch? Hassan Malik, I don't know too much about.
Well, he's coming on now. So he's another medium pacer in the Boren type mould. Then O'Dowd will obviously bowl some off spin. And then obviously Kingma will have to bowl at some stage. You know, he had one bad over, but he's still got 9 to go. That he can generally generate some pace. And
I thought Van Meekeren was very impressive, hitting back of a length. And getting some good carry.
Some good bounces, which is, like I say, I think in the Hong Kong innings, the fast bowlers probably, they fell into that trap of, oh, this is flat, we shouldn't bowl bounces, we shouldn't, you know, change and try and unsettle batsmen. So I still think you always have to do that. You have to bowl bouncers in one-day cricket.
Looks like he's bowling sort of medium pace off spinners almost there.
Yeah, changes his pace very well. Bowls some sliders and a bit of licorice, all sorts really. Just has to be very disciplined. Make the batsman play off the stumps. Don't just give free hits basically. Like I say, it'll be surprising how quickly, if you have a couple of good overs, how much the run rate can suddenly spike and how much just scoreboard pressure can start working on a batsman's mind.
"91 for 2. It's certainly tight because the Netherlands after 16 overs were 93 for 2. So doesn't get much tighter than that as a comparative score. That's good work from Peter Boren, the 35-year-old diving around in the field there. That's pretty young these days though, Cambo.
Oh, it's just a number, isn't it, Max? Is it? I've heard someone say that before.
Wide and slash through the covers. There's a sweeper out there. Just beat a single, however.
It's a pretty good over. First up, I think 5 coming off. It's just no bad balls, bowling pretty straight.
Even better, only 4.
There you go. That's the sort of role that I'm assuming that Peter Boren wants him to do. Is just literally nice and tight, stump to stump, try and force the Hong Kong batsman to play a big shot off the stumps, make them take a risk.
And use this little break in play to hand over to my next replacement, which will be Cricket Hong Kong CEO Tim Cutler. So enjoy yourself, Cambo, with Tim.
Hi, Ryan.
Good afternoon, Timothy. How are you enjoying your day so far?
They don't get much better than this weather-wise. Wandering around, met some of the school teachers and see about 100 kids over there enjoying their drills. It's sort of early 20s, not a cloud in the sky. It's a good day.
It's another very big, confident appeal, which Answer is sitting there saying no, didn't touch that one.
A couple of very large appeals of late. How did you see it from the commentary box?
Oh, I don't think they were as confident as the one before. So give the umpire the benefit of the doubt that time, but I think the one before was rather large noise and a lot of wood left in that Kookaburra ball.
Everyone did go up at exactly the same time, didn't they? Bit of luck there for Hong Kong skipper Bubba Hyatt. The outside edge of that New Balance bat runs down to the north boundary very quickly for 4.
Not sure I've ever seen the outfield so fast here at Mission Road or Tin Kwon Road.
Yes, combination today. I think warm day, hard outfield, and probably the hardest wicket we've had as well, and for limited overs cricket at least so far.
Yeah, fantastic conditions for cricket. Obviously makes it tough for the bowlers, but they're just going to have to work hard, come up with their plans and try and execute as much as they can.
What are you thinking at this stage as a coach? I'm sure you and Max have been talking about it a lot, but from my point of view, I think it's very easy to see 330 and panic. But on a field like this, I don't think there's any need to panic.
Oh, there's definitely no need to panic, and it's been going. Been going along at a very brisk rate from the start. So, look, it's just one of those ones where, as if you're on the batting team, you just keep having to reinforce that it's about a partnership. Don't get concerned about what the rate is. Relax. Just keep rotating the strike. Good shots are still going to score easily. You don't have to go too hard at the bowling. Wickets in hand, and you can score a whole heap towards the end. And there may be periods in the play, when if a partnership is going, that you do start to put your foot down a little bit more. And as we all know, it's very hard to defend two set batsmen. The only thing that's going to stop your rate is wickets. So, and on the other side of the coin, as a bowling team, you've just got to keep expressing to the bowlers, don't try too much. Literally, stump to stump, back of a length, keep going. Make the batsman try and play a risky shot or a low percentage shot. You obviously want your fielders to take a half chance. You want your guys in the ring really charging in and trying to stop any singles. And hopefully pressure through dot balls will then, hopefully for yourselves, make the batsman crack. So, look, after 16 overs that we're watching our first drinks break, I think this game is very evenly poised. In fact, as a batting team chasing, you're probably very comfortable where you are at the moment, and we've got a very good contest on our hands.
Again, so impressed with the maturity of Anshuman Rath. I think it's all too easy to forget that he's only just ticked over 19 years of age. He's been so good in this, as we call it, this cycle of World Cricket League and I Cup since he's become a mainstay of the side. And for a 19-year-old to be such the backbone, I think it bodes really well for Hong Kong cricket, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's he's been batting in the middle order in this form of the game as well as the longer form of the game. He's been given an opportunity to open the batting, which I love seeing because I really believe that that's his future at the top of the order. And again, it's he got dropped early. He's survived a couple of big appeals. But that's the composure of the young lad, just taking it all in his stride and hasn't changed anything. He's just, plotting his course and working out how he can lead his side home.
Is this the right move from your point of view, taking the pace off the ball here?
Oh well, I think you have to at some point, and you like I say, you need to bowl stump to stump, back of a length, and just try and eke out as many dot balls as you can. I thought Van Meekeren was very good early with the new ball. Really hustled in and tried to bowl some bounces and change it up. But obviously with Tim being injured in the 4-day match, who's their other real spearhead, they are one bowler short. Like I say, you just need some tight bowling here. Don't have to try too much, and again, there's some good batting. You're going to get hit for some good shots, and that's the beauty of the beast, so to speak. So you just have to limit the damage and try and make the batsman play really, really good cricket shots.
Speaking of which, it's an amazing shot by Bubba Hyatt through the offside. Does that shot so well, doesn't he?
Well, that's just a genuine wide half volley that he threw his hands through nicely. A half volley, still a half volley.
Yeah, still got to hit him.
And that's the beauty of Bubba Hyatt. He's got beautiful hands that he holds back quite low, and he doesn't have a high back lift, but he just drives his hands through the ball so nicely. As we see again,
couple of questions there on the YouTube stream. We got one about when will the Gin Drinkers Bay grounds be ready. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but that'll be up and running for season 2017-18. So looking to open it officially later in the summer this year. And then with those 3 grounds and hopefully some practice facilities will be open in September. Good running there from Bubba. Badly needed, aren't they?
Oh, desperately. Let's be honest. It's the fact that we had made 2 World Cups and it was currently ODI status with just 3 cricket grounds plus a full AstroTurf one. It's quite remarkable, really.
We get a lot of questions about this facility here as well. I think when people hear about Hong Kong, they of course think of the Hong Kong Sixers that were played at Kowloon Cricket Club and also the historic Hong Kong Cricket Club. 2 amazing facilities, both private member clubs with amazing cricket grounds, but unfortunately they're just too small for us to be playing international cricket on. Hopefully we'll see the Sixers back again at Kowloon later this year, but this is the only other ground that we have a turf wicket that we've been lucky enough to get One Day International and T20 International certified.
Dutch going to the Sixers, Tim?
Well, I know their coach, so I might have a chat with him about that.
Put in a good word.
Dutch, of course, were here at the last Sixers in 2012. Good piece of cricket there, well fielded. Something I didn't think Hong Kong did as well as they could have, fielding off their own bowling.
Yeah, they were a little shabby in the field at certain times. Again, that's an area that Simon Cook is working very hard with the lads with. I think on the day 4 of the 4-day match, they dropped a couple of chances, which ultimately saw them held to a draw. Magnificent shot.
Yeah, a little bit uppish there. That man in very close there on the offside. Get past him as he did at pace. Run very, very quickly along this Ting Kwong Road turf. So Ryan, you're leaving us. You're running off to the Netherlands. It's just that roll of his ball. Good work by Bubba just to follow up with his hands. What are you looking forward to most in your new role?
Obviously to be given the reins of a country as good as the Netherlands at cricket is obviously a magnificent opportunity for me. I'm looking forward to getting there and getting deeply involved in the culture and what makes these players tick. Like in all associate cricket, it's all about being consistent when you get the opportunities to perform, and I guess that's what I'll be asking of this squad. That there are some big games ahead, and there's some big achievements to be had, so to speak. And of course, it does come down to all those sort of things help with the funding of your national association. So it is very important. I don't think a lot of people who just watch associate cricket realise the cutthroat mentality of it all when it comes down to funding. So look, I think it's going to be an amazing experience. I'm really looking forward to it. I've never really lived in Europe for a long time. I will admit I'm not exactly excited about the winters, but we'll see how we go.
If I get a little philosophical with you for a second, that's something that you and I both get asked about a lot about associate cricket. Just one more there to skip a height. People see names and faces and birthplaces and scorecards and talk about associate cricket just being for expats. you and I both work in associate cricket and we know how hard people work. What are your thoughts around the future of developing nations cricket and the importance of Indigenous versus expat internationals?
Well, that's another good boundary for Anchman Rath, and that might bring up his 50 as well. Or is it?
That is 50.
His runs, it's another 50 to continue on from his very good 4-day form. He's batted very, very well in these matches. Like I said, batted at number 5 in the 4-day cricket and been given the opportunity to open the batting today, and he hasn't let the coaching staff or the captain down. Look, mate, back to your question, Tim. At the end of the day, everyone's going to have their opinion. Obviously, you see teams in the associate world like Papua New Guinea and Nepal, Afghanistan, who, you know, it is indigenous. It is, you know, and they have massive populations to back that up and to promote the game. Whereas, you know, some countries the numbers are just not there, and you know, the rules are very clear that if you're there for 4 years, that's good enough. A lot of the Hong Kong lads have been here for pretty much their whole lives. So, look, at the end of the day, I think you're representing a country. You have that country in your heart, and you know that's the bottom line. You know, you're always going to give it your very best, and hopefully you can promote the game in that country. And I guess that's the end of the day. It's as long as we're leaving the game in a better position than before we started, then I think you've done a good job for your country.
Yeah, my sentiments exactly. And both of us moving from a cricket mad nation as we have in Australia, where it has to be an active move to avoid cricket as opposed to look out for it. Where here you're really trying to bring into people's peripheries. It's a sweep shot by Rath for one. Just to see the passion, especially in places like Hong Kong and the Netherlands, where people are trying to grow the game. And I think that the multi-layered approach of that is that as long as you are working from the bottom and the top, I don't think there's anything wrong with having players that have moved there. The thing is, though, it's got to be integrated, I think, with a development pathway that goes beyond bringing players in. You want to be bringing kids through, don't you?
Absolutely, and you know, but the facts are too that if you know, these guys, if you do have your passport is of that country, then you know, if you haven't lived there your whole life but you still have the passport, then does that make you less of a national player? I'm not so sure. You know, it's an interesting one. But like you say, as long as you're promoting the game and you're trying to work from within and get the numbers up, which I know all these teams are, then I think that's just a great spectacle for sport. You know, we talk about this with the associates, and this is not having a crack at England or South Africa or Australia even. And a lot of those blokes aren't born there. You know, we've seen in the past England lots of South Africans, drop chance. That's a big, big moment in this game. That's a massive moment. Bubba Hyatt, the captain, sharp chance for the big fella at Kingma, but it's a chance that has to be taken. And will they rue that moment?
Like you said, huge moment there, and an unhappy throwback from the bowler. Yeah, and it's not, as you say, it's not a matter of having a crack. It is one of these things that people move around the world. The world's getting smaller and smaller. Most places in the world, it's a lot easier to move between countries. And if you've brought your passion for a sport and you're trying to help grow it, you know, you're as much part of that country as anyone else. Like, as you and I both know, Hong Kong is very much both of our adopted homes. You're running away from it, but this is home, and this is what we're trying to do our best. But one little question that's come in there on the stream from Doc Damage, 2 Pro. Ryan, what will you miss about Hong Kong cricket and Hong Kong the most?
Oh, definitely the people. You know, I've met some of my best, amazing friends that I'll have for life. You know, both in the senior cricket and junior cricket, the parents. that easily stands out to me. Just the wonderful people I've met, and actually the city. It's a beautiful place to live. I think sometimes we take for granted when we live in Hong Kong the amazing places. There's another edge through vacant first slip area for 4. And yeah, mate, I'll leave Hong Kong with a lot of very, very fond memories, and obviously I look forward to coming back and visiting every now and again.
Well, as you mentioned, the Sixers, when they're back, the Netherlands were of course one of the 12 teams that were here in 12 teams. I think it was a little bit smaller in 2012. Lost in the plate final to Australia.
Yeah, well, it's
Were you here then? Did you?
yeah, that was actually my first year at Kowloon, so I enjoyed the Sixers very much. I just wonder, like a guy like Kingma had a really bad first over, drops a chance. Now he's thrown the ball by the skipper. He needs to dig deep. It's all about mental toughness now. Keep those feet behind the line, run in and do a job for your captain.
Just cut shot from Bubba Hyatt, just goes past the left hand. That backward point fields with another boundary. It's Mission Road to a tee, isn't it, really?
It's heartbreaking. Flirting with danger. But like I say, the boundaries keep coming, and Hong Kong right now, it's advantaged them.
One thing the Netherlands did really well, I think, in the 4-day game was they kept up the whole time. There were no heads down, and I think we'll see that throughout this innings as well, so that shouldn't be an issue. There's another question there on the stream about the obstacles. We just get two balls left in the over there, as you can see by Buddy. Biggest obstacles of developing cricket here. I'll try and do it very quickly. Facilities is obviously the biggest one. As we've been talking about, there's only 3 grass grounds, as we'll let Vivian Kingma bowl this ball. It's defended there by Bubba Hyatt. The hard thing is, in Hong Kong, lack of facilities, not just quality cricket facilities, actually getting space for kids to get outside and get active. I know Ryan's been a huge part of improving the junior cricket program in Kowloon Cricket Club with the help of their major sponsor Argyle Scott to bring more and more kids to cricket, but it's actually getting kids out of the classroom and onto a field. Defended there again by Bubba. And also in Hong Kong, it's a funny place, isn't it? You know, we both are talking about it again, the nature of sport and how it's ingrained into us as kids in Australia and countries like South Africa, New Zealand and England as well. But in China and Hong Kong, it's such a studious and academic focus, isn't it?
I admit that is a big deal, and again, you're working at schools and universities is very important, obviously, and cricket's just a game. But I've never seen a country that's parents are so fixated on their kids making sure they get the right education. And again, that's probably because of the competition for places in universities and schools with so many people. It is tough. So, to get the kids out of doing homework and actually coming down and having a couple of hours running around is a bit tough, but I'm sure that I think it's been well documented all places around the world that if you find that happy balance, I think both things can succeed very easily.
Yeah, I talk about it. I won't say I coined the phrase, but I see sport, especially in Hong Kong, as the missing piece of the puzzle, or the last piece of the puzzle for a kid's upbringing. I think Hong Kong's so great in the focus it puts on academic achievement, but really what you can add to a kid's development with sport is amazing. Ball run there by the 2 batsmen. Bubba Hyatt moves on to 39 off 51 balls, and Anshuman Rath is 59 off 57. I think we're not just talking about cricket here either. Football, soccer here is very popular. Rugby, of course, on the back of the sevens, very well off union, and they use that money very, very well in the community. And really, if a kid's playing sport, we've got to be happy. Of course, we'd like them to be playing cricket. But it's just so important for Hong Kong's development, I think.
I must admit, I would like to see just Van der Merwe maybe change it up a little bit to Archman and bowl over the wicket, just to change that angle, just to see if he makes him play something different, because he's just working him off his hip quite easily. Just feel that sometimes you need to change an angle, just a slight change here and there, even if it's just for 3 or 4 balls, just to see if you can generate a couple of dots or a bit of extra pressure.
Just a little question here from Nagu. How much has Hong Kong changed from when you came from Australia? I guess you've only been here 4 and a bit years or 5 years now. Have you seen any particular changes?
I think I've watched cricket grow and develop at a rapid rate. In my time here, the professionalism of the players, especially of the national team, but then even further down, the grade system's getting a lot better. Premier League's at a very high standard. First division, second division now on a Sunday, and the first division it's a very good competition. So look, I think the cricket standards, Hong Kong as a whole, I don't think will ever change. It's hustle and bustle all night long. It's.
What's a big miss there down the leg side. Wide called. Maybe a hint of something on the way past, but by Buddy Patan says no, and that's 5 to Hong Kong.
Yeah, they're the little pieces that you just got to stop here. It's I don't mind a wide, but the wickie's got to get something on that. You got to put your body on the line, and you just can't be giving away boundaries. Again, that's the first ball of the over, and it's a wide, so he hasn't even bowled a ball, and he's gone for 5. So pressure on.
That's what we're talking about as well. We can just keep going so quickly. That's 5. That's 6 off the first ball of the over. A couple of singles, the rest of the over, and that's plus 10.
The required rate's still only 7, and they're going at 6.6. So, they've got this well in hand. We all know that 7 and over in the last 10 is very, very gettable.
Inside edge there. Well, it's got some good feeling there from Malik. It's a good pace. Not the best ground to be diving on at the moment with the sand, but he timed everything well there. Just kept it to 1. Bubba Hyatt on to 41 now, or 56 balls. Anchi Rath, 61 or 59. And it's one thing that we have these 2 set batsmen in here, but we still have probably Hong Kong's form player of the last 6 months, Nazaka Khan, to come.
Well, as I said earlier, before this run chase, that I don't think I've seen a stronger Hong Kong batting lineup with obviously Jamie Atkinson missed out today, but Chris Carter's in good form, Anchman was in good form, Jamie Atkinson, then you have Bubba and Nizakat probably at the peak of their powers. And Waqas Khan has also made lots of runs recently and actually kept Shahid out of the side, which he's been fantastic in one-day cricket for Hong Kong. So there's some real proper selection questions being asked now, not just it's the same 11 all the time. There's some serious questions being asked, and as we saw, Tanvir Afzal was left out of the side today.
We're going to say goodbye to Ryan Campbell. Hopefully not for the last time on either of these 2 coverages, because we don't really want to say goodbye to him at all, but he is going to leave us. Thank you very much for your time, Ryan.
Pleasure, Tim.
Thanks for the introduction, Tim.
We have Director of Cricket, Charlie Burke, joining me, but I was fixing the score up.
Multitasking.
I hit Cambo with all the philosophical questions about international players and people moving countries and development of cricket, so we can probably go a little bit more lighthearted and talk about this run chase.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I was just talking to a few people over in Peroni area about how in Hong Kong, particularly with the quick outfield and the shorter boundaries, you can 10 and over in the last 10 overs with wickets in hand is not actually a big task. It would seem usually, but I think as long as or Hong Kong I should say, is around about 215, 220 in the 40th over, you do give yourself a good chance with wickets in hand.
I would rather us at 280. Just as we're talking, Shaban Rathis played that off his back foot really, really well there, and another 2 runs. Confident
appeal earlier. I'm sure that probably yourself and Ryan mentioned it, but a confident appeal with Anchman earlier. The Netherlands skipper, Peter Burren, looked a bit disappointed at the umpire's decision. Anchman's on strike. It's pretty good nick at the moment, the last week or so. He'll fly back to the UK after Saturday's game and be involved in the Middlesex setup. Nice little paddle around the corner. He's dived over that one, Sydney Harbour Bridge. It's gone for 4.
I like to hear a man from Perth referencing the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
If I said the Canning Bridge, people probably wouldn't know what that was.
Well, it doesn't stop you normally.
So just ticking along here at the moment. Hong Kong 2 for 148 in the 25th over. Great. Earlier, Tim, you and I wandered around and went and met the schools that are over the other side. Good to see how keen the kids have been. Coming down and watching, for most of them, their first ever, well, certainly their first ever international game live. But good to see how keen they were. They even had some bit of homework to do during the game, which I thought was good fun for the kids.
And we were getting onto it before about how academically focused Hong Kong is and how strong the results are of kids growing up here. Just amazing to see them here having fun outside, and a lot of these kids will have got the entire afternoon off school to be able to come here. See them with their little homework, with the number of wickets they've seen, the run-outs, the LBWs, the 6s and 4s, and asking what their favourite thing that happened. And that story that teacher told both of us, he had 2 kids come to him today and say, "Oh, Mr. Thompson, I wasn't able to sleep last night. I was so excited about coming today." So, we see a lot of comments about how many people at the ground and how many people are interested. There is that love for the game here, and there's moments, opportunities like this for them to see their heroes and for us to be able to show it to the world. That's how you grow the game, isn't it?
Absolutely. Good to see got our cricket officers over there that are full-time. We have 3 full-time cricket officers. We've got another 2 starting shortly, and then we've got some of the other part-time coaches, and I saw Murray Hill over there, the captain of the Hong Kong women's team, so it's good to see. Over high, drives that one beautifully straight down the ground towards Betty Timmer and Rob Kemming, the Dutch team manager. That was a great shot straight down the ground. Don't want to overpitch to Bubba Hyatt in this sort of form.
Absolutely not. Let's see if we can have another look at that. I think it's worthy of it.
Just tick Bubba on to 45 here. 155 for 2 Hong Kong.
See that ball.
He's pitched it up again. I think that was a misfield, Tim. I didn't quite see it.
Yeah,
he may have got a hand on it.
I think he went through the hands there, but he did see the ball a long way back in Vivian's hands there. That slower ball from the wrist. If we can maybe just have a look at that first boundary.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Same again. The attempted off cutter, you could say, and he's just not too full. Geez, he's hit that well.
Yeah, just starting to mix up the pace. I think both sides, I feel, probably starting to mix up the pace a bit too late. I would have liked to have seen it a bit more with the new ball. I know new ball from each end in one-day cricket now, but sometimes on a surface like this you need to just subtle variations.
In danger there again of going for another 4 there. Kingma a little bit too full with that slower ball. If he's going to be bowling there, Peter Boren really has to think about his options there and getting that fielder back on the boundary and bringing his cover across, or at least or even bringing a man over really and making Bubba try to hit across the line. But see, Kingma's got a definite plan there. Every ball that's over has been that slower off cutter and quite full. Yeah, Rath on strike.
Nudged out to the sweeper on the offside for Anchman. He moves on to 70. Good to see Anchman's parents in the crowd as well. His father was around for a lot of the 4-day game and saw Bubba's father over there as well. So terrific to see the parents of the players. We've also got Chris Carter's parents here as well, which is good to see.
It was a very interesting conversation of you with Bubba's dad.
Not shy to give me a bit of advice, Bubba's dad, which is always good to hear. Passionate people. So Hong Kong just ticking along with this partnership at the moment, just in front of the Duckworth Lewis, although I'm assuming and hoping that's not going to be, it's the Duckworth Lewis Stern now, isn't it?
It is.
Won't be needed today, but Anchman moves on to 70. Bubba 1 run away from his half century. Hong Kong 159 for 2 after 26 overs. Van der Meer is going to continue. Very crafty cricketer, very clever cricketer. He's mixed his pace up well today. That's beaten mid-wicket. He's got a hand to it. And that's 50, and the kids pretty excited about it as well over there at deep mid-wicket, and that's 50 for Bubba Hyatt.
I'll tell you what, I just had a shiver go down my spine, Charlie. We've got 100 school kids over there all jumping and screaming.
Yeah, good to see.
Normally that's the sound of death from another school over the yard or something, but it's great to see.
It's a good single, that one. Quick single there. Anchman Rath pushing one around the corner. It's a classic one in cricket, having the left and right hand combination, the field having to change. Partnership just keeps moving along here. Usually, Tim, I know we spoke about it when I was coaching the Hong Kong boys, that we always felt that if you're sort of there and thereabouts with the Duckworth Lewis, you're actually in a very good position. Obviously, once you lose wickets, the Duckworth Lewis goes up pretty quickly, but particularly with a total like this. But it's always pleasing to be. It's not such a bad thing to kind of, not that there's weather around, but just to be there and thereabouts with the DLS. It's usually a pretty good indicator.
Yeah, I think it vindicates that most of the times. I think it's quite accurate as well, taking into account the resources you have left as a batting team. I just plays it off the back foot there for another single out to Peter Seeler out here sweeping away. I will say though, and not to be controversial, though, I really do think Duckworth Lewis, and any calculation method, really does struggle on shortened matches. I think we saw that in the World T20 when our game against Scotland was shortened, and I'm not saying they're wrong or anyone's to blame. I think it's really hard to try and ascertain the value of what wickets count for as the game gets shorter. I think that sometimes the team batting second seems to be in a much better position all too often as a game gets shortened, because inevitably if it's before the innings has actually started, you've still got 10 wickets. If it's 10 or 15 overs, 1 wicket, 3/4 of a wicket and over in hand makes a huge difference. where you can take bowlers' overs away and the number of fielders outside the ring, but you're never taking wickets away, are you?
You sound like we've spoken about this before, I think, Tim. Absolutely couldn't agree anymore. I think it's...
We spend too much time together, don't we?
Yeah, there's one thing having the pass score, but there's the other thing that you're not taking wickets away, but you're taking overs away from the best bowler. So the best batter still has his full allotment. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I think it has, since it's changed from DL to DLS, that there has been an update with it, because the game has dramatically changed, not just T20 cricket but 50 over cricket, but there's also now a T20 cricket option, so the mathematics are slightly different, not hugely, but the average score now in a 50 over game is, you know, sort of a par score now in 50 over cricket's about 280, and that's really since the World Cup in Australia. The scores were massive, and obviously that's a big part of T20 cricket and what's going on with T20 cricket.
Rippon comes on to bowl, and I'm going to say this is a critical little spell here. I think he was really impressive his first spell. As we were talking, as we were walking around, there aren't too many good wrist spinners in associate cricket now. Afghanistan have two very good wrist spinners, so we'll assume that they're a full member for now. But apart from that, we don't see that too often, do we?
No, certainly not, and we don't face a lot of it. He's at you all the time, Rippon, as well. Doesn't give you a bad ball. He's on the money most of the time. He's got a great wrong-un. Mixes his pace up. I've just given him the massive build-up, and he's been hit for 6. Anshman Rath loosens the shoulders, goes bang over, wide long on, and brings Anshman up to 77. Hong Kong score 169 for 2 in the 28th over.
A few little comments here on the stream about appreciating our coverage. Thank you very much. It's great to bring it to you about which channel will show the blitz. That'll be right here on YouTube as Rippon comes in. It's a good shot just around the corner as well. Let's keep those comments respectful there on YouTube there. Little block fingers coming out a lot.
One thing I do like about Rippon there, Tim, and being obviously in the spin club yourself, is that even though he's been hit for 6, he still tossed the next one up, which I like. This one's a bit flatter.
Not saying that there are any non-genuine spinners, but he's a genuine spinner, isn't he? You really see that he really tries to rip the ball hard, backs his potential and his ability, I should say. Like a Brad Hogg with that energy as well. A little bit of a sort of a chicken action with the sort of the bent arms, which makes it even harder as a batsman to try and pick it out. I'm sure you must have had a lot of fun with our lads when you were head coach, trying to get them to actually watch the ball coming out of the bowler's hand, and there's nothing more important than watching it coming out of here. Is Bubba watching his hand?
He's watching pretty close. It's a nice shot actually against the spin there, knocking it out to the sweeper out in front of the kids over the other side of the ground. It's the other side of the ground to where we are. We're at sort of a deep square, I suppose, from the line rock end. But interesting tactics here. Netherlands will be pretty keen for a wicket to break this partnership. The partnership's ticking along quite nicely now, 117 off 19 overs. So just exactly what Hong Kong were after. Good to see Bubba Hyatt leading from the front here. Again, the skipper 53 not out, Anshman Rath 78 not out. Hong Kong 171 for 2 after 27. Well, this is the 29th over.
Shout out to all our Nepalese fans as well. I know there's a lot of you on our stream. We know how much you love your cricket, so keep those comments coming. Respectful, please. But I can't wait till we host them here later this year. It should be a massive event.
And Namua again tucked up on Anshman's hip. Anshman Rath just pulls it around to, flicks off his hip to a deep square, just behind square. It's fielded there by the half centurion, Peter Seeler. Bubba Hyatt using his feet. And a good bit of fielding off his own bowling there. Pretty crucial for a spinner, Tim, fielding off your own bowling.
Absolutely. See how I sound like you then? I was just talking to Cambo before on exactly that. I think just well played there by Bubba Hyatt. You are another fielder out there as soon as you bowl the ball. There's a lot of talk about slips fielders changing their footing and their positions as they see the ball coming. As a bowler, you're the person, the best position to know where it's going, so you're very important. There's another single there, Anchi Rath down the ground. And one of the other things as well that I guess spin bowling is one thing, but fast bowlers, how important they are in a run-out situation. As one-day games go on, your fielders are back on the circle. Generally, very hard for one of them to get in and go on the stumps. Almost impossible. Huge job of a bowler. It's a good shot there by Bubba in the gap.
Rocks back. There should be 2 here. They'll take Seeler's arm on.
He didn't do that badly out there. Good pace. For a big man, he does build up a lot of pace quickly. 2 more to the total.
Just pulled up a little bit gingerly there as well. It's been... it's great, isn't it, for advert for the game. We've had a terrific 4-day game here that was a draw in the end. Hong Kong probably dominated at least the first few days, and Netherlands just showed their fight and took the game to the last session and ended up being a draw. Terrific innings from Cooper and Seeler, and a terrific 288 run partnership. And this is the first of 2 World Cricket League Championship matches, which has a lot of importance as far as the standings go. Anchman Rath rocks back and tries to pull that one, doesn't get hold of it, and hits it to mid-on. He's going to, it's probably not a bad call this, I think, for the left-hander, is to drop long on back and bring mid-off up. So Anchman probably looked to use his feet.
Do you think that was going to be a wrong one?
Yeah, you said it. I was noticing before his wrong one's a lot slower. So you can, even if you don't quite pick it out of the hand, you're probably wary that if it's looped up a bit that it's going to be a wrong one. But I think Anchman will look to use his feet here. Just short. He's rocked back. He's pulled that one through mid-wicket. That's a fantastic shot for Anchman, and fielded there from one of our very valued volunteers down at deep mid-wicket. So Anchman moves on to 84. I'm nervous to say this, Tim, and I don't know if I should say it, but if there's a guy that deserves 100, it's Anchman Rath. He's been at this ground in the 90s and 80s several times and hasn't got those 3 figures, and I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm a bit nervous now, in fact.
I'm going to say that I'm one that does not subscribe to worry about any of that stuff.
Jeez,
I'm sure
nervous.
he's not out in the middle listening to us, is he? If you could only see 2 commentators here right now with our heads in our hands, just knowing what we've probably done. A lot of questions coming here about potential upgrades to Ting Kwong Road.
Yeah, let's change the subject. Good idea.
This is a government ground, so there are big limitations there. Rip on to Anchi, who is thankfully off strike with a singles. Look, we've had some great events here, and we've got the Hong Kong T20 Blitz that everyone's been talking about and you've heard about on this broadcast as well. We can't wait to have that. Ground will look very different to what you see now. We'll be streaming that live on YouTube and also Facebook at least. Also hoping to get some other broadcasts on some other platforms as well. But we'll have a grandstand along this side where you may have seen the boxes here and the media box, and LED boards around most of the ground. marquees and other seating arrangements too. So we're really looking forward to that. 25 international players: Shahid Afridi, Misbah Huq, Timel Mills, Tilakratna Dilshan, Sangakkara, Darren Sammy, and there's even more that haven't been announced yet. Another of the world's fastest bowlers are coming as well. And in that, you get to see everyone that you're seeing here as well: Anshuman Rath, Bubba Hyatt, Jamie Atkinson. We were really hoping to get some Nepalese players here as well. But unfortunately, they're playing Kenya at exactly the same time as India are playing Afghanistan as well. So we're even investigating at one stage the chance of having some involvement in a tournament in Nepal, but unfortunately it couldn't happen this year. That's something we're looking at. So I know how many of you passionate Nepalis are watching and listening to us, and how many of you live in Hong Kong, but maybe next year. But let's just see how much fun it'll be later this year when we host.
That's big cuts. That's all the way. That's over mid-wicket. The skipper loosening the shoulders. And a big one over the kids. Luckily, some of the kids have gone over to the nets to throw a few balls around, because that would have gone straight over to them. So
yeah, I think
that helps the run rate.
Absolutely. Required run rate 7.22 now as Bubba Hyatt hits it down the ground for another single. You can really hear some good noise coming from the kids over there and the dugout here.
It's a good mighty blow there from Bubba. Good use of his feet.
Missed that with the replay there, but Anshi's just hit that to Peter Boren there at short mid-wicket. Thanks, Vismum. We're reading those comments too.
Vandermeer's 9th over. Crucial spell this. Crucial 9 balls left in his allotment. Henchman Rath picks up 2 there. Score ticks along nicely for Hong Kong. 192 for 2. Henchman Rath moves on to 88. That's going to help.
That's a very delicate little shot
That's
there by Rath.
Little shot. Getting nervous here, Tim. Terrific effort here from Anshuman. Moving closer to that elusive 100.
Such a good player to watch, Charlie. We were talking about him before, Campbell and myself, just how well poised he is at the wicket for a 19-year-old. For those of you not aware, Anshuman has completed his schooling in the United Kingdom after being born in Hong Kong and growing up here and playing at the Hong Kong Cricket Club, but he actually plays Middlesex second 11, very much part of that setup there, and I don't think it's too long until we see Anshuman Rath get his first club. Well, he's already played a first-class match, but to get a county first-class match.
Well, I can tell you an interesting story with that, Tim. We just got a replay here of Anshi's little push down to fine leg. Good little, just enough on it there. I know Middlesex are pretty keen to sign young Anshuman. Unfortunately, Anshuman is on a student visa in the UK, even though he qualifies to play for England now, which means that he can't be paid. So it's an interesting situation that it's at.
So can they take him, they give him an employment visa?
You can't hold both.
Can that, well, this sounds like you and I talking in a local speakeasy, but they're not able to change over to a full employment visa. Wow, that sounds like something that would happen in Hong Kong.
It's an interesting one. I don't think there'd be too many cases of that. Bubba Hyatt's on strike.
It's a bit like these F1 drivers that are too young to hold road licenses, that are racing cars and can't have a license. Here's a kid that's about to be picked in first-class cricket, but he can't because he's on a student visa.
Just a quick look at the scorecard for Hong Kong. Chris Carter was the first one to go after a pretty spectacular first over of the game. He's 19 off 18 balls for you as LBW adjudged LBW to Ripon, trying to reverse sweep, and Jamie Atkinson stumped Barassi also by Rippon.
Was that a drop catch?
I think that's another one.
Oh, wow. Bubba Hyde is absolutely...
It's kept low as well. That one just starting to keep a little bit lower as well. He's got to be careful going on that back foot. But I believe that was another drop catch. One at mid-wicket now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That is one of the widest balls. I know I've seen Dale Steyn bowl the widest ball, and let's see a replay of that drop catch just very quickly.
Oh, yeah, that's drop. That's in and out. It's about waist height. Max O'Dowd has dropped that one at mid-wicket. Bubba just uses his feet, advances down the wicket, pushes it to long on. So Bubba Hyatt just ticking the score along nicely, and the 200 is up for Hong Kong in the 32nd over. 200 for 2. Anshman Rath on strike. Anshman Rath moves on to 93. Bubba Hyatt, the skipper, with him, showing a lot of support. 65 not out. Yes, Jamie Atkinson was stumped Barassi off the bowling of Rippon. Just looked a bit out of sorts today, Jamie. Just sort of, there's not a lot of pace on the ball with 2 spinners operating when he came out. And we've got Anshman Rath and Bubba Hyatt, the 2 batsmen at the crease. Hong Kong 201 for 2 after 32 overs. I'll just go through the bowling figures as we have them at the moment. Kingma, none for 44 off 4 overs. Van der Merwe, none for 16. Oh, sorry, Van Meeken, none for 16 off 5. Peter Boren came on, I think he bowled the 3rd over from memory. None for 23 off 4. Rippon has been the pick of the bowlers. Useful name for a spinner. 2 for 43 off 7. Van der Merwe has been none for 55 off 9. He's bowled beautifully. Today he bowled very well in the 4-day game, mixes his pace up. And Malik, none for 18 off his 3 overs. So we've got the kids there on screen, along with James Chan, who's one of our cricket officers. For those that are in Hong Kong on Saturday, make sure you get down. It looks like it'll be terrific weather again. You can get your general admission tickets free through ticketflap.com. I'll certainly be here, Tim.
We don't have a choice, Charlie. But that did sound good.
Even if I did have a choice, I'd still be here.
And why wouldn't you be here? General admission free. Or for 600 Hong Kong dollars, you can come down for free flow food and drink all day long.
It's better than a buffet, Tim. Anshman Rath on strike.
Can he generate the same pace that he did earlier on? Paul Van Meekeren.
Geez, he impressed me with his opening spell. In fact, that
Proper
first delivery
bowling
of the first delivery of his spell, which was the first ball of the 2nd over of the innings, almost took Anshie's head off. It was an absolute cracker.
Good to see 666 watching the stream. Yeah, he bowled that really well. He's stepped up a pace. Both he and Kingma really impressed me with their fortitude, really, in the 4-day game. Good word, that. And the way that they just kept coming at Hong Kong, even when Hong Kong were 366 for 3 on the start of day 2, they both came in and ran in hard. And you see now, with only having to bowl 10 overs, they're just coming in with a little bit more. It's just great to see some proper fast bowling and just seeing how the Hong Kong batsmen are replying.
So Bubba Hyatt on strike here. Not really sure what the hold-up of play is here. Maybe just taking everything in. Peter Boren checking his field, making sure he's happy with it. Van Meekeren into Hyatt. Shortish delivery. Hyatt safely pulls it away to deep square, picks up 1. And that puts the young Ansherman Rath on strike. He's just looking over. His father and mother are watching on the edge of their seats at the moment. And you've got a director of cricket that's very nervous.
Ansherman Rath, just as Charlie mentioned, that 93 off 83 balls. Bubba Hyatt 65 off 84.
Ansherman Rath getting in behind that one. Just sense that the Netherlands feel that they need a wicket here. One of these two at the crease at the moment. Go on with it, and they're at the sort of end of the innings. I think Hong Kong go a long way to finishing this game off, but a lot of work to do in the meantime. Van Meekeren into Rath again, short delivery, pulled away. They'll pick up at least 2 here, with Seeler mopping up, deep mid-wicket, and 1 bounce throw in. Ansherman Rath, 97.
Making my heart race, Charles.
I don't know if I can watch this, Tim.
You've got me very nervous now. I hope Angie's feeling like we should be, is that really the 100 is irrelevant here. It's going to be one of those, well, I'm sure he's going to be happy, but big job to do.
And Meekeren into Rath again. Rath.
Good captaincy here. Peter Boren, knowing the situation, has brought himself into a gully. Point there is a little bit behind. A little bit of a Damien Martin field there.
Do you think there'd be a bit of a reminder that Ansherman's been in the 90s a lot, and it's been a declaration, there's been a run-out, 2 run-outs in fact.
Yeah,
the
remember running
innings of the I Cup and the Scotland game.
Yeah, and both times it was Ansherman at fault. Remember Alistair Evans bowling to him in that first World Cricket League game. He fielded the ball off his own bowling out on the leg side and turned around through, and Ansherman had called him back for 2 and was short. That was, of course, the first ever one-day international on Hong Kong or Chinese soil. Big win to Hong Kong that day.
Bubba Hyatt on strike here. Rippon. I thought they would have kept Rippon up their sleeve, to be honest.
Are you about to say they were going to rip in their sleeve?
Well, talking of sleeves, he's got 1 short one and 1 long one. Rippon into Hyatt, inside edge there. Just need to be patient here. Just need Hyatt there to get Anchi over the line and push Hong Kong further forward from a Hong Kong point of view.
We've just gone past 152 run partnership as well, just on 152. It's good work there, Bubba Hyatt. Good cricket here. All the kids are now lined up. Cometh the man, cometh the hour.
Rippon into Rath. Rath gets on the front foot. I am pretty nervous at the moment. Gets on the front foot, pats it back to
lucky there's no
Dowd.
There's no webcam in here.
Well, that's a good thing for everyone, I think. Rath on the back foot, nudges it out to the sweeper, Malik, who mops it up. Ansherman Rath moves on to 98. How many deliveries?
That is 88. And he's just done it. I think 2 big shots he's played.
Yeah, 1 big horns, 11 boundaries.
And there he's scoring it at 110. Bubba Hyatt, great shot there. There's no catching that.
That's a beautiful shot.
So effortless. Was a little bit short, but geez, he's timed that well.
Yeah. Ripping in to Bubba Hyatt, uses his feet.
It's good batting. Covered that well, I think. He's got his pad just inside the line there nicely.
Big fan of Rippon. Clever bowler, clever cricketer. Just mixed his pace up again. A good fight back after Bubba hit him through mid-wicket for 4. So Hong Kong move on to 211 for 2 after 34 overs. Bubba Hyatt, 71 not out, came in at number 4. Anchman Rath, 97 not out.
And look at those kids there. What a vision that is. Tomorrow's heroes.
Quite like the hats actually at that school.
Remember having a hat like that at your public school? Can't imagine anyone's watching from Engadine, but you know, one can only hope.
Anchman Rath on strike, 97.
No
Pushes
ball.
it. Oh, a free hit.
Well, if you ever get a chance, Anchman Rath, 3 runs for his first ever century for Hong Kong in any form of cricket.
What do you do here, Tim? He's not going to get. He's surely every time we've had the Hong Kong team have had a
What should he do? Or
free
what will he
hit,
do?
they've gone the scoop. Just his strength is over cover down the ground. Give yourself some room back in the crease. Go big. Into Rath. Oh, geez, that was a bit quicker. And Regan just getting this one through. It's probably in the right area actually to hit then. So Van Meekeren coming around the wicket to the left-handed Anchman Rath, who's on 97 not out. Good bit of width there, they'll pick up one.
Probably would have been a wide there if he'd left that, Charlie. We've got Richard Eves saying he's watching from Campbelltown. Now that would be good to hear. As close to Engadine as I think we're going to get. Western Suburbs, Brett Lee, Shane Lee both grew up in Campbelltown. Really decent cricketers there.
Van Meekeren over the wicket to the right-handed Hyatt. It's going to have to be quick here. Wouldn't want another run out for Rath in the 90s. Scamper through. Bubba picks up a single. Hong Kong move on to 214 for 2. Van Meekeren will come around the wicket again to the left-handed Rath. We've got a third man, a fine leg, a deep square, a sweeper on the offside, and Boren's come into a second slip. Van Meekeren into Rath, pulls it away. This could be it. They've got one. They're coming back for the second. Finally, 100 here for Anchman Rath. Terrific century, well deserved. Well done, Anchman Rath. Great to see his parents here as well. The young kids over there applauding a great century. Great moment for the Rath family. He thoroughly deserves that one. A terrific innings. And hopefully can, from a Hong Kong's point of view, can make sure that he goes on with it here. Hong Kong 216 for 2. Anchman Rath 100. This 100 coming up in 93 deliveries with 11 fours and 1 6.
Oh, another no ball. Ian Thompson been one of those today.
Just might sound a bit old school here, Tim, but a bowler should just not push the boundaries. You shouldn't be up that close, let alone going over the line.
Absolutely. I remember reading Darryl Hare, famous umpire from Australia, his autobiography, and one of his suggestions was to make a no ball penalty 10 runs. You'd definitely be behind the line then, wouldn't you? Another one that probably would have been a wide, but you know what it's like in form, you want to feel ball on bat. Good work by the Hong Kong batsman there. Bubba Hyatt calling quickly, and enough pressure there on the fielder there. Boren just ran over it, a single to Hong Kong, who move on to 219 for 2 after 35 overs. See the replay of that century now. Great moment for Anshuman Rath, his family, and Hong Kong cricket in general. Young 19-year-old making 100 in such an important game. On comes Malik. 6 bowler use here. Hassan Malik has bowled 3 overs for 18. Very solid there from skipper Hyatt down the ground. Peter Boren has himself down there as long on. Angie's 100 coming up in 100 balls. Sorry, 94 balls I should say. Another great shot there by Anshuman. Just lent on that beautifully, and diving save there from Sealer. Very tight there with the boundary, but no slow-mo replays here, so play on we go. Well, Richie Benno fans unite. Chew for Chew Chew Chew. Apologies, I just always wanted to say that. Malik in to Anshuman. Good cut-off fielding there. Chance of a return catch there. Just gone through Hassan Malik's fingers there at pace. Anchi Rath, another single to his total. Good from Bubba there. It's good from Hong Kong. Last 5 overs have seen 32 runs, no wickets obviously with this long partnership. Hong Kong run rate's up over 6.2. The required rate now is 7.6 as we get to this last ball of the 36th over. News around the world from Harare. First ODI between Zimbabwe and Afghanistan. Afghanistan won the toss and they'll be batting first. So I'm sure a lot of you people out there in associate world and emerging cricket world love seeing the rise of Afghanistan. We'll be watching that keenly. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on it here. Our associate brothers take on the Zimbabweans. Skipper Boren's now brought himself into the attack. Definitely leads from the front, Peter. Both with the bat and the ball, also in the field. Great energy.
talking about before, used to be a bowling all-rounder, but very much the batting side these days. Very clever cricketer and cagey bowler as well. Lots of changes of pace, very hard to get away. Not dissimilar to a Chris Harris character from New Zealand. So let's see what he can do for the Netherlands here. One kept very low, bit of a slower ball, but did everyone there. Bubba Hyatt went back to play. Him halfway up. The height wouldn't have been the problem, but that one was going down leg side. Good running there from Hong Kong. It's been a pleasing show of this particular partnership. It's really been something that's come along with the professionalism and the fitness of these guys. These two are batting very, very nicely together. You can just see the understanding out there. Spend more and more time at crease. The recent PNG One Day International Series was won on the back of a partnership from these two, and hopefully for Hong Kong fans that's happening again today. Full pitch there. Bubba Hyatt will be kicking himself. They didn't put it through that gap. Just one run as it is though to Bubba. Charlie Burke is taking a break. And with 105 runs to win. Welcome back to the box, Scott McKechnie. Not Scott McKechnie, he's just in here stealing his laptop. It looks like it's going to be Mark Wright, Chairman of Hong Kong Selectors. Sorry, Scott. Shot there by Anchi down the ground. Hoping to get two, but with a 53-metre boundary down there, it's very tight to be running on anyone's arm. Just tightening up a little bit here. Drinks coming onto the field. We'll go through the scorecard in a second. Great partnership here for Hong Kong, needless to say. These two have put on 175 runs now in 28.2 overs, and that's just a tick under 6.2 runs an over, putting Hong Kong in an extremely strong position. With 13 overs to go, Hong Kong require another 104 runs, and that'll be a run rate of 7.89. Now, with 8 wickets in hand, it's a good position to be in from Hong Kong. Still need to be hitting those boundaries and ticking the scoreboard over, but at least with two very set batsmen at the crease. It's going to be very hard work for Netherlands here. We really need to come out and take wickets. Just as we were talking about at the back end of the Hong Kong innings. Best way to slow the run rate down is to take wickets. And this is what the Netherlands will be hoping for, and what Peter Boren's no doubt laying down now about keeping their standards up. Some very good bowlers in that team. Here on the stream we can see ladies captain Mariko Hill, Yasmin Daswani, also Hong Kong ladies player and works for Cricket Hong Kong. Hong Kong's scorecard as it goes. Chris Carter was the first man out, going to reverse sweep rip on for 19 off 18 after striking 4 boundaries. Jamie Atkinson came and went quite quickly, 6 off 11. He was stumped off rip on. Wesley Barassi with some neat work there, a turning ball. That brought this pair together, Anshuman Rath and Bubba Hyatt, together at 53. That was in the end of the 9th over.
And they've taken the score now after 37 overs onto 228 for 2. So that now leaves Hong Kong 104 runs, or 103 runs, sorry, with 13 overs remaining. For a victory that's very important in the context of the World Cricket League Championship, getting to the business end of that 2015 to 2017 tournament. 3 rounds remaining, so that's 6 matches and a possible 12 points. Hong Kong is on 11 points, alongside Scotland, who is also on 11. Ahead of them are Papua New Guinea and the Netherlands, who are both on 12. So 2 points for a win. That's very, very close there. Remembering it's the top 4 of the World Cricket League Championship that will go directly into the ICC Cricket World Cup qualifier in 2018, going towards that 2019 World Cup, with the bottom 4 teams of the ODI full league table. So that's likely to be Afghanistan, Ireland, Zimbabwe, and maybe the West Indies, maybe Pakistan, maybe Bangladesh, proving to be a huge tournament. And the bottom 4 from the World Cricket League Championship will drop down to play against the finalists from World Cricket League Division 3 and in World Cricket League Division 2. So that'll be a very important tournament there, with the top 2 coming back up into that World Cup qualifier. So much to play for, and of course, as we've been reading about recent days, the proposal on the table of the ICC is to create a rolling 2-year 13-team ODI league, where one team from the World Cricket League Championship will join the top 12 teams in the ODI table at the moment to form a home and away league over 2 years, which will be massive for whichever team that is. And with PNG in the Netherlands, Hong Kong, Scotland, and even Nepal and Kenya biting at those teams' heels, it's a huge opportunity for cricket in these nations that will guarantee matches against some of the biggest countries in the world. Funding, support, exposure, commercial opportunities. It really is great news. Looks like Malik is now going to continue. One's had a drink and a change of gloves. Duckworth, Lewis Stern score at the moment is 220. So Hong Kong is now on 228. So as Charlie Burke was talking about before, using that, it's a bit of an indication as to where a team's at. The first ball after drinks. Ashman Rath has worked that around. Good fielding there by Cooper, I think it is, over there. Only picking him from the distance, tall, lean frame. There's comments there about a proper cricket stadium in Hong Kong. So that Malik bowled this ball. He talks many years about developments in various places around the world, around Hong Kong. Marlon Shan up at Whitehead Bay is a potential option there, and Kai Tak has that huge development there too, but we're not looking too good with cricket, so we've just got to keep working grounds that we have. Gingercruz Bay from a league cricket point of view, but we're definitely working hard for this. Talks of the Big Bash wanting to come play games in Hong Kong. We definitely need a ground for that. It's a great shot from Bubba Hyatt there down the ground for 1. Good start this after drinks by Hassan Malik. Quite innocuous, you might seem, but I think he's working very hard and mixing his pace up and just keeping it in the right zones, proving quite hard to get away. Good shot by Anshaman Rath behind square there. Just as we're talking about how well Malik's bowled, Rath has just worked that one off his hip. 4 more to the score. Very important runs there. This is proving to be a very tight over. Only 1 ball remaining in it. Malik coming into Rath for the last ball of the over. Good shot there by Rath just to close the over out. come there. Peel there, we see Sam Malik. It's indicating that just heading down the leg side. So that's the end of the 38th over. Hong Kong 235 for 2. So 6 off that over. Required rate around 7.9. Peter Boren continues now to Anchman Rath. Nicely down the ground there, ticking the scorecard over. There's comments coming on YouTube. Nice and respectful, please. Borrow into Bubba Hyatt, just off the thigh pad, I think there. Another leg by, but more importantly, another run to Hong Kong. So Crick Info's give a kickstart there, but the score's now 237 for 2 after 38.2 overs. Rath there looking for the big shot, just inside edge, and just one to the score there. So you can see there now, I'll try and keep that up for you, keep it easy. 93 runs from 69 balls. There by skipper Boren. Very tight. Hong Kong players now really needing to boundary and over here. Through everybody there. Again, beaten by the lack of pace. That is the end of the over now. Well, simple equation there for Hong Kong now. 93 runs from 11 overs. Anchi Rath over 110 now, and Bubba Hyatt in the early 80s. Just trying to update Crick Info here as well. Malik into Anchi Rath. Good bowling here. Question here about Guangzhou. Love to. We've played some games up there. We're actually looking at securing a lease so we can play more and more. So there's an option there, but very much in China rather than Hong Kong. Malik into Anchi here. Oh, that's breaking the shackles lovely. Anchi Rath just lifted up over straightish mid wickets, and that's a 4. Really was required there. Malik making a slight change to the field here, remembering 5 men are now allowed out. He's bringing Peter Seller in on the offside, and sent out that mid-wicket man who was in the circle, now out. So what's Anchorman going to do now? Played that very, very well in between. It's been on the boundary, the ones just mentioned. Some great fielding there by the men on the fence there, sliding and throwing up to, might have been Cooper again, or I think that is Cooper this time down there through and well. 244 for 2, Hong Kong 39.3. Now requiring 87 from 63. Van Werver's going to be disappointed himself there. Another run there to Anchorman Rath. Malik into Bubba. Tight there, no run. One ball left in the 40th over. Hong Kong needing 86 from 61 balls. Full toss there from Malik. Bubba Hyatt hit out there, and that's a great shot. Jeez, he just hit it so easily. I didn't know where it was going that quickly, and over it ran. Very important boundary there. 2 boundaries in that over. Cuts it now down to 82 from 60 balls. Simple run rate there to work out. 82 off 10, 8.2 and over. Looks like Crick Info is still slow to catch up. Might be some issues with the internet there in the scorer's box. The last power play here with 5 out. Just to answer your question, PJ Rido, we have had a few centuries before. Bubba Hyatt's hit centuries in first class cricket and T20 internationals. He'll actually be the first player to score a century in all 3. Oh, actually, this isn't a one international, is it? It's a list A, but Mark Chapman scored a century on the one-day national debut and also 100 in the I Cup. Nazaka Khan has scored hundreds as well. But this is the first time to Anchorman Rath. And great shot that was. Boren into Rath. Plays another great drive. Van Meekeren down there. 1 run. That brings up to 250 now as well. Peter Boren marshalling his troops out there. Huge wicket there for the Netherlands. Peter Boren. Bubba Hyatt's come down the wicket, down the leg side. Not sure if there's been a wide call there, but that's a huge breakthrough. Hong Kong 250 for 3 in the 41st over. 81 runs required from 58 balls, and that's a huge breakthrough. Just after we saw skipper Boren marshalling his troops, drinks. Maybe not a plan there, but Bubba Hyatt, as we see that comes down the wicket, even before he had a chance to turn around there, and that's out. Not sure exactly why umpire Thompson hasn't called a wide there with the pitching on leg and going down, but and that is, well, 2 very set batsmen there at the crease, and definitely one of the 2 wickets that the Netherlands needed. Still with 80 runs required. Nazaka Khan to the crease. Hong Kong's in-form player. See Anchorman Rath. The bowler's ends, head down, not happy at all. Knows how important that wicket was. Huge wicket there. Now there's Zakir Khan, the man that took apart the Sydney Thunder at Orange back in December, scoring 100, famous 100 in the last over. He's come to the crease. Can he be the man for Hong Kong here? Peter Boren, key breakthrough again, like he did in the 4-day game, getting Chris Carter out in the first innings. And Zakir Khan started nicely there. Those great hands of his behind point for 2 runs. Very important in these circumstances to keep the runs ticking along. Zakir back on strike. 2 balls left in this over. It's 1 run there off the last ball of Peter Boren's over. Here it is. 9 overs to go, 78 runs. Peter Boren into bowl. Just 1 ball left that over. Malik coming in from the into the over. Hong Kong on to 2-5-5-3 or 2-5-4. Welcome Mark Wright to the commentary box for the first time. Hong Kong Cricket Chairman of Selectors, Sports Development Manager at Hong Kong Cricket Club, former Hong Kong cricket player, both in international cricket and in the Hong Kong Sixers, former Hong Kong coach, taking Hong Kong almost to the World Cup in 2014 in New Zealand and attaining one-day international status, and with us now today. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Tim. It's a pretty big introduction. A lot of formers there, so I feel 86, not 36.
Quite a day's cricket thus far. Just a question now on the YouTube feed there. Is this on Cricket Info? Yes, it is. I think they've had a few issues there, but in comes Rip into bowl. Anchorman Rath, great drive there. Really well fielded by Van der Merwe. What are your thoughts on today thus far, Mark? You've been here for most of the day.
It's been a fantastic game thus far. It's culminating into a pretty tight finish. Both teams have played well. The ground looks fantastic, actually. A decent pitch for them both to play on.
It's ebbed and flowed, hasn't it? I think early on Hong Kong probably didn't bowl or field the way they did, but they were able to pull it back slightly in that second, third and into those last few overs. And batting-wise, I think Hong Kong showed a lot of poise, but the Netherlands, I think, are really looking at trying to take the pace off the ball and seems to have having a bit of effect since drinks.
Yeah, I think the last 10 overs that Hong Kong bowled, they bowled with a lot of skill, and their execution of their death bowling was particularly good. That score could easily have gone up to 350, 360, 370. So obviously chasing 330 these days is not hasn't got the same taboo as what it had probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. So the 2 lads, Baba Hyatt and Henchman, played particularly well.
There was never any panic. I think Cambo, Charlie and myself were talking that we've only seen 3 sixes.
It's quite rare in Hong Kong. Normally it's the sixes hit left, right and centre, but I think the way they went about the game is particularly impressive. It's not necessarily the way that cricket is played in Hong Kong at times, but these guys, whilst young in age, they're pretty experienced now. They've played in a host of different competitions and different formats, and they've been able to manoeuvre with the game and implement different parts of their batting.
Comes in again. Anthony Rath, great shot there. That's way over the trees there and the Lion Rock end of the field. And that's what we want to see with Hong Kong requiring 9 on 10 runs and over now. The last ball of Ripon's over has gone for 6. Great shot by Anchi. But if we go back to what you were just saying, Mark, about the maturity shown, how much of an effect do you think having that 4-day game and the guys being out to go out there and bat long periods and build partnerships or the effect that it's had on that?
I think the 4-day format certainly aligns itself to batting in its purest form. The game, even within 4-day cricket, ebbs and flows. It offers players the opportunity to bat for long periods in time. But also, when you get into the 3rd and 4th innings, it does get into a bit of a 1-day, 20-20 type format if you're chasing the score down. So I think the longer format does align itself to players developing every facet of their game. And to do it over a longer period, we're now into the last throws of a one day match here with 67 or 49 balls. Again, a lot more time than what they would normally think of and stuff like that. But certainly playing the longer format of the game, I think, has got a lot to do with the way that these players, particularly in Hong Kong, have developed their game.
Yeah, I think we get a lot of questions about longer format in the I Cup and Afghanistan and Ireland looking like they'll be brought up as test cricketers, and meaning that pathway is potentially shut off from this tournament for this cycle anyway. But I think, apart from the funding and the support that we get from ICC for it, the development opportunities for players to be in those situations, to have that test quality wicket that we did for those 4 days, and for them to be forging partnerships and working together and batting sessions, batting an hour, batting 2 hours in a session at a time, to then bring this into 1-day cricket, which I think some people, I know you're the cricket expert, I'm talking like one, but it seems that a lot of people seem to think of 50-over cricket as being a bit of a smash and a hit around, and it isn't that at all. There's some really important little sessions in the game that you need to bat sensibly. I hope you agree, but what do you think?
No, I think I totally agree. I think obviously in this day and age, 2020 plays a huge part in developing interest of the game in its shorter format of the game. 50-over cricket is often spoken about as to where it fits in the grand scheme of things for the ICC and world cricket, and I think even people that have watched today, the game can change momentum very quickly. It allows spinners to get into their work, it allows seamers, particularly with the 2 new balls from each end, it allows different options for the captain and stuff like that. Today it's been played on a fantastic wicket, short boundaries, straight, and batsmen that once they get in, like Anshuman has and Baba, make it look particularly easy.
I'm really happy as well how the pitch has held up. You and I both know the work that went into this square. We had some great help from Joel Cheng at Hong Kong Cricket Club and also from Ricky Aitken about getting this square reseeded. So everything you see on this square, apart from the pitch that was played on over the weekend, the 4-day match, was completely reseeded just over a month ago. And to see how it's come back and how it's holding together in a world-class match like this is good. You might normally see in some places of the world the wicket's starting to deteriorate, but I'm happy that the pace seems to still have been held up, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic pitch actually for 1-day cricket. The 4-day match obviously proved to be a cracking game with the Netherlands having to bat for the majority of the whole of day 4 and a little bit of day 3 just to survive. So it's been a great pitch for the guys to play on.
Good fielding there from Roloff. So Mark, you're now chairman of selectors. Get to watch a lot of cricket. See a lot of young people coming through. Who are the young stars to watch in Hong Kong cricket when we get a chance?
I think Hong Kong is, as is evident with the 2 guys batting out there in the middle. I think obviously Anchi's 19, 20 now sort of thing, and Kat's mid-20s. The future of Hong Kong cricket in terms of players coming through is in quite a healthy state. Simon Cook and his team have done a lot of work with the academy side and the under-19s in developing and highlighting young players. Anshuman Rath, who's out there batting at the moment, obviously is a leading player for the young ones. Jutta Subramanian, who's in the squad at the moment, young leg spinner at Wellington College in the UK. has got a great deal of skill, and he's been part of the squad for the 4-day game and the 2 ODIs or 2 1-days. There's young spinners in Hong Kong, which is great. I think all nations and all teams would happily have a decent armoury of spinners, like your good self, Tim. We've got 2 young ones, Mohammed Hussafa and Mohammed Saad, 2 lads that have been playing for the Vagabonds in Sunday cricket here in Hong Kong. But again, there's a lot of young players that don't necessarily reside in Hong Kong now for schooling, but they've moved overseas, boarding school, but they're very much part of the programme and they return on regular basis. So Cameron McCausland down in New Zealand, who toured with the side to Dubai for the Associates Cup.
Yeah, we were talking about challenges of developing cricket in Hong Kong before, and we didn't even get a chance to touch on that. How many kids that we lose that are born and brought up here that go overseas for high school? I know you're just let this ball be bowled. It's just what Hong Kong needed. Flat bat from Nazaka Khan. A very cat shot, if we could call that.
Yeah, he's got his own technique as Nizakat. He's been in some rare form the last 4 or 6 months, so that's a fantastic shot. Just relieves that little bit of pressure. 57 off 43, 7 wickets in hand, but a top shot.
This is what Hong Kong just needed. They needed someone to come to the crease and just carry on, and Cat has done just that. That 6 will take him to, well, he's 13 off 7 balls now, and that is just what the doctor ordered. Great shot, flat batted back down over Peter Borrens. We're just going to see the replay here. He seemed to change his shot mid-ball. He was thinking he was going to go squarer and change his shot. Do you see what I see there?
I think I don't know how you'd best describe that, but it's gone straight as narrow down the ground. Fantastic shot.
I think he's almost changed his shot, just thinking, well, I don't need to hit it that hard straight, I can just bunt it. The boundary down there is only 52 metres, so that one gets carried probably 56 or 57, but that's about knowing your own home ground, isn't it?
Cat certainly played a lot of cricket here during the domestic cricket for Little Saiwan, and also he's currently at Hong Kong Cricket Club with us, and certainly with the Hong Kong guys when they've played here. So that familiarity, I think, for a lot of the players here that have played a lot of cricket here at the ground, it has got its own little individualities, and there's some vagaries about playing here. But from a batting point of view, I think it's been excellent today. They've not really allowed, like the Netherlands, to get a sequence of 2, 3, 4 dots in a row sort of thing. Even if they've got a boundary, they've got to single the next ball. So it's been excellent batting thus far, and again, the 56 needed off 42. Anshuman's there, what's he, 130 odd not out.
Yep.
Cat's got going from ball 1, but it's up to these two to take ownership of the situation and see through what can be a tricky period now. Van Meekeren's returned into the attack, the Netherlands strike bowler, so the next 12-18 balls here I think will go a long way to suggesting how this game is going to finish.
Just to give an indication of how well Hong Kong have kept going after Bubba Hyatt was dismissed the last 5 overs with that wicket. They've seen 40 runs at 8 runs and over, and that's bang on what Hong Kong now needs. So Hong Kong don't have to do anything silly. They just keep going at this pace. Wow, Nazaka Khan, just as we're talking about his shots, first ball from the Dutch opening bowler, just on a length, hands through the ball, and that's hit line rock halfway up.
It's a superb shot. Again, first ball the over, last ball the over, it seems to make no difference at the moment. Fantastic shot.
Look, and while we're searching for that ball, I'm sure that's just amazing. Look, we've seen Cat use that pace, and you can see those flats. Use that pace against the Sydney Thunder, where he was hitting some of Australia's fastest bowlers there over backward point for 6. But you can see how he's adjusted here to a wicket that's a touch slower, but not much. He's hit that over long off. Now, if you're looking around the world and you want someone for your franchise, if you're Caribbean Premier League, and I know the IPL's already got through there, they're cutting down, but Bangladesh Premier League, Nazaka Khan.
Yeah, I think there's a handful of guys playing in these games at the moment, sort of thing that are standing out through performances, and a run of form like Nazakat's shown at the moment, hold him in good stead.
Great cricket there from Cat. 6, then 1, turn the strike over, and the in-form Anchi Rath, left-handers on strike. I just love seeing this confidence, and look, of course we're from Hong Kong, we're wanting Hong Kong to win, but just seeing the high quality of cricket and just seeing the confidence they have in themselves here. There's no panic. You've been here a lot longer than I have, but how long have you been here? 8 years now?
10 years.
10 years, wow. We always underestimate these things. 10 years, you can get a Hong Kong passport now. But just, it's one thing with Charlie who's been here for 7, but what you must have seen in 10 years must be amazing. I don't need you to you don't have to try and summarise it now, but it must be very pleasing for you now to see the game in this state.
It's been fantastic, I think, the way the game's developed here in Hong Kong, but also then playing on the world stage and playing against the teams like Netherlands, who've had a great history in the game the last 15, 20 years.
Great shot there by Anchi Rath. Square out to us here. Peter Seeler picks that up. Still looking very ginger after that day 3 dive when he went off with a back injury. But it hasn't done any harm with the bat, but he looks very ginger out here. That might have been why we haven't seen him bowl any of his left arm spinners. That's another 1 to Hong Kong. 48 required from 39 balls. One's kept a little bit low there. Just been talking about the wicket. It's a dot ball, like hen's teeth at the moment. Mark, you've been here 10 years. You have a favourite, double-edged question, a favourite cricket moment in general and a favourite personal cricket moment whilst you've been here. 10 years is a long time.
It certainly is a long time. I think from a personal point of view, it's just been fantastic to see the game develop in Hong Kong. There's an enormous amount of work that goes on behind the scenes. Just let this ball pass.
It's a great shot by Nazakit. And even better fielding out in a match. Peter Seeler, the man we're talking about. 2 more to the score. Mark?
I think I was just saying, from a personal point of view, obviously my work, whether it be with the cricket club or with Cricket Hong Kong, has been to develop mostly, and to see the game being taken into schools and bits and pieces. I think from a personal point of view, I've got a real affinity to that. See the kids here on the far side of the ground, and they were playing during the lunch break on the outfield. I think that would be a personal highlight of mine.
End of the over, Hong Kong 285 for 3. 46 now required from 36 balls. Now that run rate coming down, it was 8 before this over, now it's down to 7.45. Just shows what an effect a couple of big overs can have, Mark. You're being a little bit modest. I've heard about a game you won against the Malabone Cricket Club for the Hong Kong Cricket Club, hitting a 6 off the last ball of the match to win a match, and you're also part of you were almost a caretaker coach, so a bit of an uncertain time after the temporary departure of Charlie Burke, and almost taking the highly unfancied Hong Kong team to defeating Scotland the first match of the 2014 World Cup qualifier, to getting one-day international status and almost making a World Cup. How do those things rank?
I think, again, I was very fortunate to be offered the opportunities to get involved at those stages. I think, listen, it's fantastic to see a number of those guys that were involved in 2014 now coming to the fore as senior players within this side. So I think the sixes was good. I think it was obviously being part of the Hong Kong team that reached the final of sixes was great fun.
Anchi Rath, could that be out? Malik takes the catch. Huge wickets there. Anchi Rath looking to find the maximum there. The first ball of the over is caught by Malik off rip-on. Does that turn the game in the Netherlands' favour?
Fantastic catch by Malik out on the deep mid-wicket boundary. Rippon, who's been a big threat for the Netherlands today, has again made the breakthrough, but brings to an end a fantastic knock by young Anchi Rath. An excellent knock today. 134. Young lad's got a massive future in the game and has certainly put his side well on the way to hopefully recording a victory today, but a fantastic knock by the young man.
I know he's going to be annoyed at himself, but hopefully Hong Kong can carry this home with this start now. Wakaz Khan, who's really come to shine in the last few months with some great innings in the Desert T20 and has retained his spot ahead of the talented Shahid Wasif and even Tanvir Avsal. A lot of faith shown in him by the selection team to join Nazakat Khan, who's on strike. Geez, it creates a very interesting situation here, doesn't it, Mark?
Game on, absolutely game on here. Rippon's bowled excellent all day, actually. Just adds that variety, left arm wrist spin, Chinaman wrong-uns, it's googlies, what you want to call it. Fantastic that you have those sort of bowlers within your armoury, and he's certainly stood up and been counted today. But game on here, 46 off 35.
First ball, Nazakat Khan out next ball. This is huge for the Netherlands. Nazakat Khan looking to hit the sixth ball after Anshuman Rath was dismissed.
Once again, excellent catch at long on boundary. Rippon again, what's he got now? He's got 4 wickets for the day.
Yeah, that's 4 wickets. That'll be
tossed up. Nazakat hitting with a spin. Hasn't quite timed the ball. And again, another world judge catch down at long on.
So we talk about having these short boundaries, but geez, it really does bring the spinners into the game when players think they can go them hard and hit them over.
Rippon's bowled an excellent pace today as well. I think obviously Mission Road does offer a little bit of spin from time to time, and he certainly has the ability to spin the ball both ways, but he's bowled a great pace for this wicket. 2 batsmen on naught now. It's, what is the scenario? 46 off 34. The Netherlands are absolutely up for this. They're re-energised with those 2 wickets and 2 balls, and the 2 guys that have come into the middle now, Wakaz Khan and Ehsan Khan, I believe, have got a fair bit of work ahead of them here. So 46 off 34.
Yeah, Ehsan Khan, who bowled so well this morning, came off with an injury after taking a great catch. Both batsmen haven't faced the ball, and look, the air has definitely gone out of the Hong Kong fans here. Let's hope these batsmen can bring it home, but huge performance here from Rippon, who was actually on a hat-trick with that ball just then. Didn't even mention that. Wakaz Khan playing his favoured sweep shot. Very delicate little shot there by Wakaz Khan. Oh, misfield there. Sees a boundary for Hong Kong. How important will that be if we get to the end of today?
It's the way of the modern game at the moment. Batsmen have no fear. Sweeping, scooping, reverse sweeping. Slight misfield there down at short third man. Taking a little bit of pressure off that was brought into the first part of the over. Rippon now 3 balls left in his over.
Sorry, that was Ehsan Khan who played that, not Wakaz Khan. First ball he's faced. Reverse sweep.
Game's gone mad. It's just the way the boys play now. These aren't fluke shots. They do practice it all the time, and players now play 360, and 2 predominantly high sweepers of the ball.
Ehsan Khan straight into the swing of things. 1 down wicket there, and Rippon. Geez, I said his second spell was going to be the critical one, but he's come back on for this last spell. Peter Boren has left him 1 over. He's come and done a job for him. Just good work there by the Hong Kong batsman after getting that reverse sweep boundary to close out the over. .39 required off 31 balls. Going into that last ball, so what's that, 30?
Yeah, 39 to win. What's the overs scenario here? Who's got overs left? Van Meeker and...
Ripon is now bowled out, probably most importantly. He's finished with 4 for 67 off 10 overs. In the context of today, that's amazing.
So Malik's coming back into the attack.
So Kingma has only bowled 4 overs. He's gone for 44. So whether we see him again today or not, it's a question to be asked. Van Meekeren still has 2. Malik, he still has 4, so he's got up his sleeve. Van der Merwe 1. Ripon's now bowled out. Peter Boren has 2 overs to go, and like I said, Van Meekeren 2. So he's got a few up his sleeve actually. But if he doesn't bring back Kingma, he can sort of balance it around here between Van Meekeren and Malik. He's looking really trying to take the pace off here though. Little inside edge there, Wakaz Khan. Scurry through for 1.
Yeah, the field's set fairly straight. You've got a fairly straight deep mid wicket, long on, long off. Deep cover is actually now coming back up into the circle, and a deep backward square leg. 5 in the circle with third man and fine leg up. And fine leg, as I speak, is just dropping back down.
Malik it again is to Ehsan Khan. Big hit from Ehsan Khan. That's a big straight 6. Just what Hong Kong needed.
Fantastic shot. Fantastic shot. Whether it's 52 metres or not, that's a big hit. Fantastic shot from Ehsan Khan.
Shades of Munir Dar in the World T20 against Bangladesh. Some great shots down straight. I remember Brian Murgatroyd, amazing contact from Munir Dar. I hope Brian Murgatroyd is watching this. I know he loves his associate cricket, but I guess Ehsan Khan is a very, very clever cricketer, and all those years of experience come to the fore there. Hong Kong need 32 from 28 balls.
Certainly relieves some pressure. What they've done well throughout the day, Hong Kong, is when they have had boundaries, they've managed to get off strike as well the next ball. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the over plays out, but certainly a great start to the over.
Required rate now down to 6.85. That's good from Ehsan. I know he was a little bit disappointed there, trying to work it for 1, but still calm. It's good from Ehsan. Just 1 down straight there.
Well bowled by Malik. Get it full as he can. Field set straight. Got it up into the block hole.
Good little crowd watching now. Almost 1,200 people. This is surely going to get us the highest ever numbers watching any of our games we've streamed. Good work there, Wakaz Khan, and running quickly. Only 1 there, but good impetus shown there, and just a great advertisement here for emerging cricket, really, isn't it, Mark?
It's been a fantastic game. It's been a fantastic day. The 4-day game that was played previous to this showed that the two teams were quite evenly matched.
Oh, Wakaz Khan has gone for the boundary there. And it looks like the sub-fielder has come in and trying to come in to take catches, just slipped a little bit in the sandy dirt there, and going for the catch just rolled past him. So that's a big shot for Hong Kong. Very important, hit the 4 for the last ball of the over there. A little bit unlucky, you have to say, Mark. I think he probably should have got there. Seemed to run around it a little bit.
Didn't seem to pick it up from the bat. It was a ball clipped off the pads, deep backward square, and Sikandar, the substitute fielder, didn't seem to pick that up too well. And it just seemed to die on him a little bit before it just passed him.
Thanks very much, Mark. Good to hear from Chairman of Selectors, Mark Wright. And we're going to welcome back Charlie Burke, who is in the Cricket Hong Kong jacket. I can imagine there's a little bit of little bit of moisture under there after after 2 balls of the 31st over. That's just so Hong Kong, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost associate cricket in general. It's never sort of easy, and I suppose that's the challenge. And the team that panics first here will come out second in the match. So be an interesting few overs here.
You sound very much like Ryan Campbell there.
Or does Ryan Campbell sound like
Ryan Campbell
me?
says the team that panics last wins.
Absolutely.
Did he get that from you, or did you get it from him?
It's not sure actually. He may have got that from me, or not sure. But anyway, important over here. Wakas Khan.
Good start there from Wakas. Just what Hong Kong needs. I think we all spend so much time together here, don't we, that we end up speaking like each other. I catch myself saying absolutely every day, and I blame you for that.
Absolutely.
It's good to see everyone engaging on YouTube there, but keep it respectful.
Hassan.
Let's spend more time enjoying the cricket rather than blocking some of you people.
Hassan Khan on strike. Useful straight 6. They'll get 1 here.
And only 1, hopefully.
Moves Hassan onto a useful 17 contribution here. It's Netherlands certainly given themselves every chance. Most teams, when you're defending a total, aim to have 2 new batters near the end of an innings. They've achieved that. It's now up to these 2 guys. It's going to be a shy at the bowler's end. Good call through from Hassan Khan there. Moves Wakas Khan onto 7.
22 off 20 needed. Getting very tight here for Hong Kong. Big inside.
appeal here.
Huge inside edge there from. I think we can see that from here, Charlie. I know we've got to be.
Disappointing decision there, but it's the right decision in the umpire's mind, and Hassan Khan is on his way adjudged LBW, and Azaz Khan will be the number 7 batter to walk out.
See that replay? Yeah. I actually think it's hit only his hand.
Yeah, Hassan Khan noticeably disappointed with that. Probably fair enough. Well, keeps the game very...
Just see that again. Oh, jeez. Look, you can always say that. I guess Anshuman Rath may have nicked that one before, but Ian Thompson, the umpire from Hong Kong, formerly from Australia.
Yeah, well, the cricket gods always find a way, Tim,
They
to
do.
even things out.
They
so
do.
we've got a
Even with no clouds in the sky, sometimes it rains.
absolute cracking finish here. Hong Kong require 22 off 20. They've got 4 wickets in hand here. So every run, every ball, every dot ball, absolutely crucial, particularly in the big scheme of things and the way that the World Cricket League Championship table is. The winner goes on top of the table, at least for a few days.
Minimum
And,
of 2.
Yep. They will...
22
the winner-
off 20 balls. 7 runs and over.
Good use of feet there from Azaz Khan. They've patrolled the boundaries pretty well, Netherlands. I know they've dropped a few catches today, but genuinely I think they've patrolled the boundary well, not allowing the Hong Kong batsmen to get 2s out there. But they're probably going to have to start taking the field on, particularly with those sorts of shots. Wakas Khan sweeps it around the corner, only for 1 to fine leg. And that's end of the over. Cuts, we've got a cracker.
We do. And the Netherlands got to 330 for 7. I have to say I either thought Hong Kong would be doing it easily or may fall quite quickly. So I'm really happy for everyone that's watching this stream. We've got 1,300 people. Those numbers keep going up watching now. It's been a consistent number, it's been increasing all day. Come here to watch some great cricket from the emerging world. Netherlands, of course, have beaten England twice in World T20s. 2004, was it? 2004 and 2009. Hong Kong beating Bangladesh in the World T20. 2014, there's been some great results. In recent past, Afghanistan taking on Zimbabwe in Harare today. Afghanistan batting first. There's a lot coming from the emerging world of cricket, and what better advertisement for it here right here today, with Hong Kong requiring 20 off 18 balls with 4 wickets in hand, chasing a huge total of 331 for victory here at Ting Kwong Road.
Yeah. 20 required from, might actually be a run in front there, Tim, on the stream. 21 required off the last 3 overs. We're going to have Mikran back into the attack.
From memory, he has 2 overs.
Yep, he'll bowl the last 2 from this end. False start.
So the 48th and the 50th, we look like. Dangerous going with pace.
Yeah, well, must admit, I haven't really seen his death bowling. I think you probably do need to go with pace. It is a risk at times, but they risk for reward. The side that doesn't panic here will finish on top. We know that already. And Mikran into Wakas Khan. It's down the leg side. The umpires put the wings out. It's a wide down the leg side. So
I had the score right.
You did have
along.
the score right, Tim. 20 required off 18. So you would think in this situation the batting side are probably in the best position with 4 wickets in hand.
Now, similar to the end of the World T20 final, we got mid-off up, so you'd think he's going to be bowling a little bit shorter.
Well, he's under it, Malik. It's down, backward square. Good catch there from Malik. He's taken a couple of handy catches in that position. Hong Kong have lost their 7th wicket here. A flurry of wickets for the Hong Kong team when they only need to push the ball around. And that'll see Ehsan Nawaz join Azaz Khan. So we've got 2 new batters at the crease. There's a replay here. Mikran angling it in, probably a wide delivery in the end. Top edge maybe. A good catch there by Malik in front of the Woodworm hospitality area. Disappointing. Just got to knock the ball around when you just need never run a ball.
I think he was actually trying to just knock it around. He just turned his bat too early on. Huge front edge of that bat.
So Azaz Khan, who famously won a crucial match for Hong Kong against Italy in Division 3 in 2011 and on this ground. January 2011. So likewise, this time, with a bit of willow in hand, he's got a fair bit of responsibility here to try and get Hong Kong to that target of 331 for victory. Brilliant innings today from Anchman Rath. Finally getting that elusive century. 134 off 121 deliveries, but unfortunately Nazakat Khan, the very next ball, was given out and changed a lot of momentum in this game. And Mikran to Azaz Khan. Certainly his ploy with 4 out on the leg side, boundary. I would imagine he's going to get 2 full and will not be looking to give any width.
Shout out to Peter Miller down there in Wales watching us. He'll be joining us for T20 Blitz. You can see him game up on his TV. This great finish.
Van Meekeren into Ehsan Nawaz. They'll probably only get 1 here. Again, the patrolling of the Netherlands fielders. Excellent display today. They've really charged in off the rope. Haven't allowed too many 2s. And that puts Azaz Khan back on strike. We have a cliffhanger here. The crowd have stuck around. It's associate cricket at its best in the World Cricket League Championship. Disappointing wicket there, dismissal as well. Azaz Khan and Mikran dropping short. Sealer doing the work on the boundary there in front of the Hong Kong dugout at deep mid wicket. Azaz Khan holds out. Hong Kong have lost their 8th wicket. Just a replay here, Van Meekeren. This is his tactics, just dropping it in hard into the wicket. Azaz Khan held out deep mid wicket. The catch of Sealer. So Nadeem Ahmed, the left arm spinner for Hong Kong, has now joined Ehsan Nawaz. I think they cross, so Ehsan Nawaz should be on strike. 18 required, 15 balls, 2 wickets in hand.
You see the manager, CEO and chair, Royal Dutch Cricket Bond, and all those Hong Kong kids. Geez, I hope their parents know. A long time after school's finished. See an exciting finish here. There's George Lamplow, president of Hong Kong Cricket, Rodney Miles there with the hat on.
Good bumper there from Van Meekeren. So another crucial dot ball for the Netherlands. I've got a feeling Hong Kong are going to have to pull out something special here. Tim?
Absolutely. At a loss, to be honest, Charlie. Absolutely cruising there with Hatchie and Bubba at the crease. Pitcher hasn't been doing a lot.
It's a wide ball. That's a could be a tough call, that one. He advanced down the wicket and ducked under it. Be interesting to maybe get a replay of that if we can. Wide ball may have gone down the leg side, I think. And Meekeren not overly impressed with the decision. I think the umpiring's been outstanding today and in the 4-day game.
Oh, I don't think there's too much to be upset about there, even if he hadn't have moved.
Meekeren short again.
It's got to be the third bouncer, isn't it? No, I think it's only the second. End of the over. Well, 18 runs.
This is probably the over that needs to have a bit of damage. If Hong Kong don't want to go into the last over needing any more than 10, I would say. This is a crucial over. Nadeem Ahmed will be the batsman on strike. Can hit a long ball. Don't necessarily think we need that at the moment. It's about pushing the ball into the gap, running hard, doing all the hard work, taking the game deep. So Malik is taking a couple of good catches in the outfield today. We'll have the responsibility of bowling the 49th over in this first of 2 World Cricket League Championship matches between the Hong Kong side and Netherlands, with the winner the winner going on top of the ICC World Cricket League Championship table.
So now 17 runs, 12 balls remaining.
So 17 required. Netherlands taking 2 crucial wickets there. Van Meekeren, first Wakas Khan, top edge maybe, and Azaz Khan a few balls later. Hong Kong 2 wickets in hand. Malik in at Nadeem Ahmed. Tightens him up, and just a single there for Nadeem Ahmed.
Ahsan Nawaz worked very hard on his batting. I think he went through an entire tour, didn't he, of Ireland and Scotland is not being dismissed in the past. Oh, he's also Namibia as well, didn't he? So very well known for his defence, but really needs to step up here. Run weight required now back at 8.5.
A few field changes here. It looks like they're going 4 on the leg side again. We've got a fine leg, a deep square, a deep mid wicket, a long on, and the 5th fielder out is at long off. Malik to Ahsan Nawaz, and he's bowled him. Not a great shot there from Ahsan Nawaz, who's pinned the ears back and tried to go large. Hong Kong in a fair bit of trouble now. 9 for 315 as Tanveer Ahmed comes out to join Nadeem Ahmed.
Yeah, disappointing there, Charlie. I'm not sure that was a required shot. Just need to be knocking the ball around and waiting for that bad ball, and I don't think that was it. It's on a good length, on off stump. Very disappointing, Charlie.
Yeah, a little bit of panic amongst the Hong Kong side, and disappointing after what was terrific 40 overs, really. And the skipper Bubba Hyde and Anshuman Rath really had Hong Kong in the box seat, but a great fight back here from the Netherlands, as they showed in the 4-day I-Cup match recently that's just concluded, their fight and determination. So Malik to Tanveer Ahmed, pitched up, out the leg side. This will put Nadeem Ahmed on strike. Hong Kong 316 for 9, chasing 331 for victory. Important over this one. Obviously Van Meekeren will bowl the last over from the Lion Rock end. This game's going to have to go deep. These batters have, these last two, have got to find a way to get these runs off the last 10 balls of the innings here. Malik again. Well, this could get through. That's 4 runs.
Very
much needed runs for Hong Kong. A thick outside edge, and it's gone down with no third man there. It's gone, beaten the fielder at on the deep gully position, and it's run away for 4.
A little bit of a loose shot there from Nadeem Ahmed, but geez, at this stage of the day, you're going to take them. The outside edge went fine of O'Dowd there, and they're searching for that ball. And again, Jashim found it within seconds.
Eyes like an eagle, the ground staff. Good to see the kids have stuck around here today. Beautiful conditions here at Tin Kwong Road. With only 11 runs required. The problem is for Hong Kong, they only have 1 wicket in hand. So Malik again to Nadeem Ahmed. The back of a length delivery. A single here pushed out into the covers. Equation simple, Tim. They need to be there in the last couple of balls and keep their nerve.
Unfortunately for some people, I think seeing 10, they think that's 2 balls. 6 and 4. Let's hope the boys out there are waiting. The ball's in their zone, of course. Got to back yourself, but fielders are back, working around.
Malik again into Tanveer Ahmed, watchful on the front foot. 10 required off the last over of this World Cricket League Championship match. It's round 5 of the ICC World Cricket League Championship. Hong Kong hosting the Netherlands. Lot to play for here, Tim.
I know we've had World Cup qualifiers and World T20 qualifiers, but really with the changing face of world cricket, games don't get more important than these. These 2 points in the World Cricket League Championship, both to ensure that you stay in that top half and retain your spot in World Cricket League Championship and the funding that comes with that. It also links you to the I Cup, but also that 13-team ODI league is just so important. So I know both teams know that.
Van Meekeren into Nadeem Ahmed. We know it's going to be interesting play there not to take a single.
Nadeem Ahmed backing himself here, not taking the single. I hope Hong Kong don't come to rue that decision. Tanvir Ahmed must have been called there between.
As you said before, Tim, I think he's possibly looking to finish this himself in 2 shots, which probably is not, I wouldn't have thought, the right approach. Tanvir Ahmed is a more than capable batter. So bring third man up. Peter Boren drops himself back from mid-wicket to deep mid-wicket. So we've got 4 out again on the leg side. We've actually got 5 out at the moment on the leg side. But long on comes back and a third man drops back again. So long on and long off are back. We know where this is going to be pitched. Van Meekeren to Nadeem Ahmed.
I'm going to say, Charlie, I really don't get this. Both batsmen are tail enders here, and Nadeem had been able to knock that for a single, and Tanvir was back and done the same thing. We'd need 8 off 4.
Yeah, probably need a 6 now to stay in the game here. Van Meekeren bowling to Nadeem Ahmed, and that's a bounce. That's got to be a wide. That's well overhead height. So a bit of a.
That's also one over.
Bit of a
shoulders.
Possibly a bit of a let off here for Hong Kong with that bouncer overhead height.
Overhead height and leg side. I guess that's what he's fielded here for, with everyone out now quite wide on the leg side.
So Van Meekeren into Nadeem Ahmed. It's fairly full. And hesitation and no run again. So another dot ball here.
3 dot balls and a wide off this over so far, with Hong Kong needing 10. So it's very tense here in the box. Can you imagine what it's like in the dugout?
So a big fight back here from the Dutch. Nadeem Ahmed fairly deep in his crease. Van Meekeren to Nadeem Ahmed's down leg side.
Another wide.
The heart rate monitors are on.
With all the men now out on the leg side, you can see why he's going to be bowling that way. But even so, wide there.
There is a third man as well for that.
Oh, he's just gone
outside edge. So Van Meekeren into Nadeem Ahmed. Hits it down the ground. They need to take this run here. They should have done earlier. So Hong Kong needing a couple of boundaries here to finish the game off here. So 7 required from 2 deliveries. Tanvir Ahmed on strike. Van Meekeren. This could be a run out here. No. Overthrows. So we come down to the last ball. 6 needed from Hong Kong. Nadeem Ahmed on strike. It'd be a fascinating finish if Nadeem Ahmed was able to clear the rope here. Peter Boren having a good look at his field at the moment.
Not sure how relevant a field is though with this with this score. Charlie, I have to say, 10 off the last over, 3 balls hit and runs not taken. Questions will be asked. There's those tactics. If Nadeem is not able to hit this 6 here, let's see what he can do. They're sending the tallest fielders they have down to the boundary. Dare say they'll bring. Well, can't see it going for 6 over third man.
This will be,
Where do you bowl this one, Charlie?
well, he's going to bowl back of a length. He's going to hit the deck hard, but Nadeem's hoping he's going to pitch it up so he can go straight. Nadeem Ahmed goes, and that's a victory there for the Dutch. Deserved winners of the first World Cricket League Championship match, round 5, as they win by 5 runs against what will be disappointment for Hong Kong. They were in a position to chase this down, particularly with a fantastic century by young Anshman Rath and well led by the skipper Bubba Hyatt. But a good effort there from the Dutch to close this game out and fought right to the end. So Hong Kong finished 9 for 325, chasing the Netherlands 330 for 7. Anshman Rath, the highest scorer for Hong Kong, 134 off 121 deliveries, which included 13 falls and 2 sixes. Bubba Hyatt, the Hong Kong skipper, a fine 83 before he walked past one. 83 off 107 with 8 falls and 1 maximum. And then it's pretty lonely outside those two. Nazaka Khan was looking good before he was held out at long on off the bowling of Michael Rippon for 22. Pick of the bowlers for the Dutch, Rippon, who's flown in for the World Cricket League Championship matches his 10 overs, going for 67, but he claimed 4 crucial wickets. And Van Meekeren, who picked up 2 wickets in the 48th over, and his figures finish at 2 for 46 off 10. So that's it from Ting Kwong Road. Disappointment for Hong Kong. Good fight there from the Netherlands to post a very competitive 330. Hong Kong were in a position to chase this down. A terrific innings from Anshman Rath and Bubba Hyatt, but all in vain as wickets fell. We'll have a look at the highlights, or the lowlights, depending on who you're supporting. But we'll go through the dismissals in the...
Great day of cricket in the end, Charlie. You know, disappointment here obviously from those of us in the Cricket Hong Kong bunker. But 330 runs scored in the first innings and 325. So if you're going to say at the start of the day that 16 wickets would fall for 655.
But we take nothing away from a great partnership between Bubba Hyatt and Anshman Rath. Both put Hong Kong in a very strong position. As you look at the two different camps, contrasting emotions from the two teams. But as you said, Tim, another great day's cricket here in the ICC World Cricket League Championship.
Okay, first wicket, Chris Carter very adjacent there on that back thigh, going for the reverse sweep. Jamie Atkinson coming back in the side. Well, ran past that one there. Stumping. Big wicket there with Jamie out after the big long partnership. Bubba Hyatt came down the wicket, down the leg side. Another stumping there down the leg side, and curiously, wide wasn't called there again. In retrospect, Charlie, 2 very important runs there. But that was a key wicket there when Boren had brought himself on back after drinks. Rip on. Anshaman Raf, after playing such an amazing innings, just wasn't able to get it over the boundary there. Malik taking the catch. Nazakat Khan, very next ball. Being down the south side. You see how happy. Van Meekeren taking that catch. The 2 mainstays there, and then the Hong Kong players started falling like 10 pins there. LBW shout there. You can see there from that replay coming clearly off Ehsan Khan's glove, but unlucky there. But as I say, the umpire's decision is final. Wakaz Khan just looking to work the ball on the leg side. Getting that front edge. Another good catch by Malik out there. At this point, game was probably still in Hong Kong's favour. Van Meekeren though coming at the end there to finish with 2 wickets. Another big wicket there with Zaz Khan. As we can see, all the kids that came here to watch the game will be disappointed with the result, but what a day's cricket they've been able to see. If we go down that scorecard now, Chris Carter 19 off 18. Anshaman Rath 134 off 121. Jamie Atkinson 6 off 11. Bubba Hyatt 83 107. Nazakat Khan 22 off 14. Excuse me. Wakaz Khan 7 off 8. Ehsan Khan 17 off 8. Azaz Khan 2 off 3. Ehsan Nawaz 1 off 4. Nadeem Ahmed not out 7 off 8. Tanveer Ahmed not out 2 off 3. Hong Kong finishing at 325 for 9, just short of the 331 required for victory. Netherlands bowlers, Vivian Kingma 4 overs, no wicket, no main for 44. I think he may have injured himself and come off. We saw the sub-fielder on for a majority of the day. Van Meekeren came back with that important last over. 10 overs, no maiden, 2 for 46. Skipper Peter Boren, 8 overs, 1 for 44. Ripon bowled very well, 10 overs, no maiden, 4 for 67, taking 2 key wickets up the front, Carter and Atkinson. And then also took the wickets, 2 wickets and 2 balls in his final over, his first and second balls of that over, with Anshaman Rath and Nazakat Khan falling in consecutive deliveries. Ralph Roloff van der Merwe, 1 for 60 off his 10, and Hassan Malik bowled very well in the middle there as Hong Kong were moving along quite nicely at 1 for 61. Thank you for joining us all. Stay with us. We're going to have the live presentation shortly of man of the match. The points table now will see Netherlands go 2 points ahead of Papua New Guinea. They'll be on 14 points. Papua New Guinea on 12. Hong Kong and Scotland now on 11. Hong Kong still sits above Scotland with more wins. Behind them we have Nepal, Kenya, Namibia and the UAE. Hotly contested World Cricket League Championship at the moment. Really any team with these matches to go can get themselves into the top 4 at least. And there are 8 teams that we could get. Sorry, there are 6 teams that could still look at getting first place. Good to see everyone's still watching. You see all the kids here. ICHK school way up in the new territories. Great afternoon for cricket this though, isn't it? 330 from the Netherlands. Huge score. Really well chased and put together there by Hong Kong. Great innings great partnership between Bubba and Atchaman, and then Atchaman and Nazaket. But it wasn't enough. Earlier today we saw Netherlands score 330 from their 50 overs. Myberg 88 off 98 balls. Ripon a duck off 3 balls after leaving a ball from Azaz Khan. Ben Cooper batted so well on the 4th day of the I-Cup game, 43 off 37. Wesley Barassi 11. Roller van der Merwe 62 off 54. Skipper Peter Boren playing some of his hallmark, trademarked reverse sweeps and normal sweeps, 40 off 36. Peter Seeler playing another critical innings as he did in the I-Cup game, 50 off 43. He was not out. O'Dowd 16 off 14, and Van Meekeren was not out, 2 off 2. Just looking at getting the teams together here for the presentation, and we'll move to that shortly. It's good to see 370 of you still staying with us for this. Numbers of up near 1,500 at one point watching. See Max Abbott running around trying to get teams sorted.